And we're here in the lovely Goblin universe. Welcome. So, for those of you who don't know, Goblin Quest is a really simple system. The only dice that's going to be used is a D6, and that's it. And the D6, when you roll it, means one of several things. And that'll be if you roll a 1 to 2, your goblin gets an injury. And if your goblin gets 2 injuries, you're dead. And then you'll progress down your list of goblins. So you've each got 5 goblins, which you've all catered for, which we will be introducing shortly. But yeah, if you take 2 injuries, your goblin's dead, you move on to your next goblin. And then when you've run out of goblins, you will be given an interesting roll of something that's not a goblin and highly useless, but you'll still be able to join in. It'll be interesting. If you roll a 3, something bad happens. Could be something that hinders you, but it gives a -1 to the next person's rolls, all of their rolls. So if you do get something bad, you will give them a -1 on their next rolls, which is going to be really chaotic. We're going to try as hard as we can to keep an eye on this. I'm sure we'll get it wrong. Oh well. And then we've got something good. Something good means you don't get a success, but you gain a +1 for the next person on their roll. So something good comes of your actions, but it's not quite good enough, but it's enough you may give help to the next person. And then finally, if you roll a 5 or a 6, that's a victory. Each task that you'll have that we're going to set out in a moment requires so many victories. Once you've done all those victories, you move on to the next task and next task, and hopefully you complete all the tasks and you finish the story and you have a goblin left. If all of you lose your goblins and you all get wiped, you lose. Simple as.
Sad cry.
Then we have a sad cry. Now, when it comes to rolling, we mucked this rule up last time, but we are not going to muck it up again. So you actually can roll up to 5 dice. So when we come to a situation, you'll tell me what you want to do, what your character's thinking about. And then you will roll a dice based on if you have an extra quirk, if it matches your quirk, if you can use your quirk to help you. That's for each of your character has their own individual quirks. If whatever you do works with your dream, so all of your characters have dreams, so if it works in favour of that, you'll roll a dice for that. If it's part of your expertise, if somehow whatever you're doing works in favour of your expertise, you'll roll an extra dice for that. If you use your heirloom, you'll roll an extra dice for that. And if your defining feature comes into play, you'll roll a dice for that. So in total, you could be rolling up to 5 dice. So whenever you describe what you're doing, you need to use one of those 5 at least to roll 1 dice. If you keep rolling 1 dice, I may be harsh on you, because we are playing this with a GM again. This game can be run without GM, but it's more fun if you have one, I think. Because I'm going to force you to roll multiple dice. So if I don't think you're rolling enough dice, I'm going to twist the story and I'm going to get in another dice for you there and make sure that you're rolling as many dice as I possibly can think of. When you roll multiple dice, they all take effect. So if you end up rolling 5 dice and 2 of them come up as a 1 or a 2, you get a double injury, you're dead. But the other dice still take effect. So you may still have a positive outcome, you may still succeed in getting a success, or you may just completely die. Who knows? If that doesn't make sense, hopefully you guys will pick it up as we go along. And that's pretty much it, really. A lot of the rest of it's just following the storyline that we're going to create in a second. So first of all, we're going to introduce your first characters. So each of you are controlling a pack of 5 characters, 5 little goblins. And we're going to stream your goblins. As per last time stream, I asked all of our players to draw their 5 goblins for your entertainment purposes more than anyone's. So let's introduce the first goblins of the roster. We will start with Borgat. Please introduce your first goblin. And this is the picture that you've submitted for your first goblin. Would you like to introduce this guy?
Hello, I'm People Pop. My eye can pop out, and I can see things closer. It's a very cool trick. I think it's pretty cool.
It's an amazing trick amongst a goblin, I have to admit. I think that would be an amazing little party trick for a goblin to do.
It's when I put it back in, though.
I'm sure it does. Very good. Cry, this is the goblin that you've submitted for your first goblin in your roster.
My name is Grinda Red Eye, and I'm a lady goblin.
A lady goblin with the deepest voice so far. Yes, okay. This is a goblin.
The thing about our family heirloom is that it's a vial of what probably is dragon blood, and before we go into victorious battle, we like to put a drop of it in our eye. I've been victorious many times, and I've got lots of this blood in my eye, and that's why they're red, and that's why they call me Grinda Red Eye.
Yes. Thank you, Grinda. And Keen, I'll make it part. I don't judge people, only goblins. Thank you. No, they're not. Goblins are not people, no matter what they believe. Funny, would you like to introduce your first goblin? And again, this is the goblin that you've sent in.
I am Bo of the Basement Horde. Now, if everyone's okay, we're fine. But if anyone messes up, you're gonna deal with me. I'm a little quick to anger. Okay?
Oh. Bo is quite angry. I see. That's quite scary in a little way. And then finally, for our first roster, Meow Nerva, would you like to introduce your goblin? And now, correct me if I'm not wrong. We have seen this goblin before, have we not?
He survived.
Oh, yes, he did. He survived because we never got to him. But yes.
Named Yank. And I'm of the so-called useless idiots. I don't know why they call us that. Now, I have feathers. They told me I could fly. It didn't work. I have this cloak from the bugbears. I mean, I have most of it. I landed on it, so most of it's mine. Yeah. I like my feathers. They make me different.
Yeah.
And furry.
Yes. Yeah. So that. And that is Yank the Useless. Just in case you didn't understand the Goblin translations, we'll quickly just do a last run through of your groups. So, Cry, you've decided that your heirloom for your pack is a vial of what probably never was dragon blood. Some sort of narcotic, I'm going with. The expertise of your goblins is that they don't blend in at all. And they all have the shared dream of to fight and win. Borga, all your
Yeah?
goblins possess a big frog in a sack.
Yeah, it's big.
It's a very big frog. The expertise of your goblins is that they're all cool guys.
We're really cool guys.
Really cool. They're the
Really
coolest cool. And they all have the dream of finding that ultimate coolest thing. That thing that makes them even cooler than cool.
Problem is, you find something cool, but then it gets warm in your hands and it's not cool anymore.
Oh God, yes, of course. That is a sad truth, isn't it? All. I remember losing many ice creams in that way. Funny Fencer. All your goblins have the drumstick from the drummer of the Nine in Black. So first of all, let's welcome the Nine in Black into this world. They have formed a hip hop party somewhere in the human kingdom, and your goblins have acquired their drumstick somehow. So he's a one drum band now.
Don't ask us how.
I mean, you claim it's the drumstick from the drummer of the Nine in Black. I mean, goblins don't always tell the truth, and what they believe is true is not always true. Who knows? We won't judge. They all have the expertise of rock parties. They're all very good at rock knowledge. If there was a quiz show in the Goblin camp and the category of rock came up, they would all probably still lose. And then finally, they all have the dream of wanting to be the celebrity. This sticker's clearly gone to their head. And they all want to be...
You're gonna hear about us, or else.
They may be the first official rock goblin band in the camp. Who knows? And then finally, Meownerva, your goblins all have a bugbear's tattered cloak. It's supposedly some sort of Joseph's coat. It's got, instead of many colours, it's many things.
It's versatile. We have most of it left, so it's okay.
Yep, it's literally made of everything that you've come across. It's almost like a knitted quilt from Grandma. And your expertise of your goblins is that they are good at hiding and staying away from everything. And their dreams is that they wish to meet some interesting people, which they probably will never do in a goblin camp. But it's nice to dream for a goblin, I believe. And that's it. So that's our party. So before we dive in, there's one last thing to tell you guys, which is you there, you watching on Twitch. You have the power. If you have a look in your Twitch redemption reward thing, there is channel points. There you go. For 5,000 channel points, you can force our players to re-roll.
Okay.
And they will re-roll only one dice. And it will be whichever's the highest. So, yeah, I'm really screwing you over, guys. So, if you get it in time before I decide what the outcome is, you'll get it on them. If not, it will go to the next person, and whatever their highest roll is, they have to re-roll.
Are we allowed to do it, or are we banned from doing it this time?
No, you could do it to yourselves, but bear in mind, you're going to make your rolls lower. So,
Oh no.
or possibly lower anyway. You could re-roll the same or even higher. Who knows? But yeah, so it is your highest roll will be re-rolled. We're going to kill off all your goblins. So without further ado, we've gone through the characters. We've explained the system. I think it's time that we get into our lovely goblin adventure here. So, you're all goblins and you're part of the goblin camp. It's a lovely little place, to some degree. And yeah, you are all currently at the Tavern of the camp, which is known as the Dun Inn. And you're all sat in this tavern, and when I say tavern, for a goblin. Even for a goblin, it's an adventurous word of a tavern. It's more of a barn with a barrel. Most of the goblins are sat around on the floor with cups of beer that's clearly been stolen. Mainly because the wagon with all the beer on is in the corner with a dead corpse dripping down it. And yeah, the goblins are just helping themselves to it. A few goblins have stood round the bar and pretending to be somewhat civilized. But yeah, there's only one wall to this tavern. It really is an open barn more than it is a tavern. And there is a long table that's just covered in daggers. There's a goblin behind it polishing a glass with a rag that's very dirty. So instead of polishing this glass, he's actually making it more and more dirty as he's doing it. And he occasionally spits in it and carries on rubbing it in and everything. Yeah, and you're all in this tavern. You could decide what your goblin is actually doing in this tavern at this moment. In fact, let's run through that. So let's start with Meow Nova. What describe us the scene? What's your goblin doing in this tavern?
Yank who'll be stood at the wall that's not a wall, watching, waiting for his chance to grab a pint from some unsuspecting fool next to him. And they might fall out the window that's not there, just in case.
Wow. Borga, what's your goblin doing?
Oh, I'm looking at this dead corpse. I'm glad this corpse is dead, guys. It's slowly getting more and more cool. The more I look at it, the cooler it gets. So I'm just keeping an eye on it, literally.
Oh God, this eye. Yep. Funny. What's your goblin doing?
Bo's sitting there with his glass, quickly getting angry that it's getting emptier.
Yep. He's not doing anything about it. He's just, yeah.
Just staring at it right now, just quickly getting angrier with every sip.
Yeah, that seems very, very fair. And then finally, Croy, what's your goblin doing?
Standing on a table and saying, "What does a lady have to do to get a drink around here?"
That's fair. And yeah, so your goblins are all sat there. And all of a sudden, you all get up you all go to this barkeep, the barkeep goblin, who's, you at some point you all stand up there, and there's a bit of a gathering round, and you're all you all make your way to the bar for a refill and everything. And this goblin's just stood there polishing his glass. You know what this bar needs?
What?
A proper tavern.
A what?
A proper tavern.
More people buying drinks for other. It needs more. Someone get me a drink. I'm not standing here on this table for no reason.
Listen, you four goblins, you all look wise and like you're ready for an adventure, aren't you?
Ooh.
What?
Does it involve fighting?
Look. Ignore it. Forget about the fighting, okay? I know why we goblins always lose.
So small and not very strong.
Well, maybe that.
Magic.
No. Think, right? Think real. I know it's hard, but think. What do all the humans have that we don't?
Long arms.
They do. They do that, but that's not what I meant, no.
Beans?
No, not... Well, they have things, yeah, but no... Something specific that we don't have!
Competitive sports that don't end up in killing one another.
Now, that's not a bad idea, but... No! That's not what I'm thinking about!
General hygiene.
Get it out already!
Oh, fine! They have a tavern. They have... I worked it out last night. I saw a human go into one of these magical places, and he came out fierce with aggression, and everyone was cheering him as they threw him into the road. It was magic. That tavern is a magic place. So, I have an idea. We steal a tavern!
How heavy is it?
What?
What? We take one, and we bring it here to the Goblin camp!
That sounds pretty heavy.
Sounds like a great idea.
Well,
I'm in!
well,
I'm also in.
What?
well, I mean, if we could steal a tavern, it will give us the power, and maybe we can finally kill them and win and do
steal
things.
another tavern.
Yeah, we can steal other taverns.
Yeah!
I like it. Let's do it.
Okay, but we gotta keep this quiet. Because if the other goblins find out, they'll all be stealing them. But we'll have the first one. And then the king will make me a king, because I'll have the only tavern.
Who's the king this time?
I don't know. He picked up the crown this morning.
Oh, I didn't check the news.
No, the herald hasn't come round yet.
Probably crying.
But he never comes here first. But if we had the tavern, he'd have to.
You're a very wise man.
Aye, and I'll pay you all. I'll pay you all, because I have the most lucrative thing that you'll ever see.
Tell me more.
So after I saw them throw their new warrior out on the street, he stupidly went home, didn't he? And he slept. And those goblins, we ain't no match when they're sleeping. I got his head!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that's nice. You had a fight and you won. Well done.
Now,
He's
if
still
you...
sleeping.
No, possibly. I don't know. I don't know how they sleep. I don't think so. He's not woken up yet. But if you do this, I'll give you his head. And you know the king has currently got a bounty out for the most wisest and warriorist of all humans. And I've got him here! Because they were all screaming his name. Drunkard! This is Drunkard!
Drunkard.
What a name!
I
Sounds
know!
like a hero's name.
I know! That's what I thought. But I got his head.
Wonder if it's
So-
got any sons that I could marry.
I don't know. I kind of burnt the house down, so probably not now. Now, you steal me a tavern, and I'll give you the head.
Which one?
Wow.
The closest one. It's just on like a mile or two down from the camp. Just follow the road. You know it. Blackwater, I think it's called.
You can
That's the
read.
town. No,
Real
I don't.
quickly,
I think I can actually. I don't know. I. That's not the point. Okay, it's the nearest human town. They've got a tavern. Go get
What
it.
does a tavern look like?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, it was a building. It had a picture of an ale on. There's an empty spot where that cart came from. It's in the center of the town. Everyone goes there at night. It's like, don't go. Well, there is that other place but it's usually filled with women, and I don't know what that is. But who knows? But the men go there, but they come out weaker. That's not the tavern. That's not the tavern. No, you want the place where all the singing's happening.
You know what this calls for, guys? A cunning plan.
I call the right corner.
A 3-part plan with 3 steps for each part.
That sounds good. I'll leave you to it. Good luck, my friend, and don't tell the other goblins.
Okay.
Cause I can only cut this head up 5 times. After that, it's too small.
Are you
I want
keeping
the
a
nose.
I think that's a great idea. We can walk right into town, right down the middle of the street, walk up to the inn, pick it up, and bring it back, and we'll be done before lunchtime.
How are
What
we
time
gonna pick it up? I can't
With our
reach.
hands, duh!
This sounds like a good time to put our heads together and have a think of a plan.
Well, it's a good idea.
Which requires the GM to move us to the next thing.
Grinda headbutts. Grinda headbutts generally into the area. If any other heads are in the middle of the area, then Grinda's head will connect.
You hit Peeper Pop and his eye just flies out and hits the next person.
Oh,
Bo gets hit by the eyeball and just.
Don't touch me!
So, that's your mission. There we go. That's where I put the quest list. I found it. So,
Delayed for you, Andy.
thank you. I appreciate it. I had no idea where I was going. Right, so that is your task. So let's just refresh this task list. Because this is, of course, the previous one, which you're not interested in.
I heard a story about some goblins that went to the Black Tower and they stole a dragon's egg for the king. It was quite remarkable.
they were amazing.
But what? I don't know about
A
that.
dragon.
Quite a lot of them died. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but they saw a dragon. They
Not
went.
fearsome.
Oh, some survived. They were nice.
Oh yeah, they got to go to that feast.
Yeah. They got
Yeah.
fed.
So
I was invited, but I forgot.
there are. So for this task, we're going to split it up into the 3 sections. So the second task is going to be you actually stealing the tavern. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we need to.
Tavern.
Oh my days! It's written in Goblin. This is any spelling errors is because it's written in
I
Goblin.
know. Task 1 is going to be the prep. So whatever you need to do. And then task 3 is getting the tavern back to the camp. Okay.
Easy peasy.
So we'll start with the prep section. Okay, so there are 3 stages to this prep. So what prep do you think your guys are going to do before they get to the tavern?
Well, we probably need something to put the tavern on and
Okay.
carry it back.
We should go and talk to the human prisoners. Maybe they could tell us something about it.
Okay, maybe reconnaissance.
Learn more about the tavern, I guess.
Okay. So gain intel on tavern. Okay, so yes, that's stage 1. Stage 2, what are we thinking?
Fine, Tavern.
Find the tavern. Yeah, that's fair. Find the tavern. And stage 3 of your prep?
I reckon we need disguises.
Dress up as humans.
Disguises, yeah. Human disguises.
Goblin's
Disguises. Disguises. It's fine. We know what it's written in Goblin.
Writing the story. Because you
It's
can write
written-
and read.
It's written in Goblin, it's fine. Just squeezes. Right, so then you're going to attempt to steal the tavern. And so this is a 3-part plan. So what is your plan for stealing said tavern?
Infiltrate the tavern.
Okay, so gain access to tavern. Yep.
Find,
I've not.
find an architect. an architect.
An
Fancy
architect.
word. An
Yeah.
architect could tell us where it is, how big it is, and then we could find something to put it on and bring it back like a cart.
Okay, yeah. So find thing to put.
Maybe that should be
Tavern
1 and gain
on.
access should be 2.
Yes, fair enough. Find thing to put tavern
We
on.
find the thing first and then we can
Gain
get
access to tavern, and then I think stage 3 is going to be take tavern.
Sneak it out of town.
Take tavern.
Sneak it out under the cover of darkness.
Yep. So then you've got task 3, getting the tavern back to camp. What do we think this is going to be comprised of here, guys?
Well, we will at this point we'll have got it on the thing.
Yeah,
That we
you
want
so
to put it on.
Distraction.
a distraction. Yes,
Distraction.
because you don't want all the other goblins to see it until you get this tavern in. So
Well, we need distraction to get out of town first.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Distraction to get out of town with tavern.
And then the last
Yeah.
one could be a distraction to get it into Goblin Town.
Yeah, distraction
Right.
to get into Goblin
It,
Town.
if it's really
And build it.
heavy, we might need something to help us, like pull it. So like maybe a dog or something.
Okay, well I tell you what,
Beast
if-
of burden.
we'll move the distraction out of town as stage 2, and stage 1, get assistance
Beast
to
of burden.
pull tavern. Yeah.
Maybe we could just hire some humans to help.
Yeah, you could do that.
We'll figure something out.
So that's our quest, guys. Woo! We have a quest. So just for you, just specifically for you guys, I will post that in our little Discord there, so you can keep track of what we're supposed to be doing. For you guys on stream, so the quest is the team are going to prep to steal the tavern, and they're going to do that by gaining intel on the said tavern. They're going to find the tavern, and then they're going to get some human disguises to get into the tavern. Then we'll go into stage 2, which is stealing the actual tavern. They're going to find something to put the tavern on. Then they're going to gain access to the tavern. And then stage 3, they're going to take the tavern. And then finally, the task number 3, they've got to get the tavern back to the camp. So they're going to get assistance from something to help pull the tavern. Then they are going to cause a distraction in the town so they can sneak out with the tavern. And then stage 3, they're going to cause a distraction in the Goblin town, Goblin camp, I should say, and get it over to the site and build it. And that's it. That's as simple as it is. So the successes that you need to get. So all the tasks in stage 1 require 3 successes. All the tasks in stage 2 will require 4 successes, and all the tasks in stage 3 require 5 successes. But that's not it. There's going to be a complication on each task, which we're going to get to when we do each task. So yeah. There we go. Right. So, before we start stage 1, the first thing we need to do is find out where the complication is in task number 1. So, would one of you kindly roll me a d6? And I will get my little book out to find out what that means. Anybody?
Go on, Fencer, go on. Fencer
I'll
control,
take
please.
it.
Go on, just roll as a d6. You rolled a 3, which means something will go wrong on stage 2 of this quest. Okay? So, just to remind ourselves of what that means, it means when you come to find the tavern, something's going to go wrong. If not more already. Okay? If I do forget, please remind me, players, and chat, if I do forget to do that when we get to stage 2. because we have a lovely list of stuff. Okay, so that's it. So we're going to start the round robin. So if you would all like to roll me another d6 now, we will decide the order that you're all going to go in for this first, the first task. And I need to write this down somewhere, don't I? I'll write it there. So who have we got? We've got Croy rolling a 3, Peeper Pop Borgat rolling a 2, Funny Fencer rolling a 5. So Funny, you're going to go first. Then it's going to be Croy. Borgat and Meow Nerve, if you want to roll again. Seeing as you both rolled 2. Wow, it's then going to be Meow Nerva, followed by Borgat. So there we go, there we got our answers. So, let's begin. So, Funny, you're going to start the roll off. You're starting off with Bo. So, Bo, you've all decided that the first thing you're going to do is gain intel on the tavern. What is Bo thinking is a good idea to help gain intel on a tavern? What's his idea?
Here's what I know about taverns. It's in the center of the town. So, if we go to the town, we can find the center of the town, and then we can find out what it looks like and bring back that information.
Okay. So are you talking about a scout mission here, or are you suggesting you all go?
Scouting mission. I
Okay.
think we should send a person on a scouting mission. Yeah.
Okay. And Bo, you volunteer yourself because
Oh, you bet I do.
you're eager. You're like I'm gonna go off for the scout. So yeah, you convince the party that you're gonna go off on a scouting mission. Describe your scouting mission. What are you? How do you sneak up on the town to scout this out, to find the middle of the town?
Well, I got my drumstick,
Yes.
and I've heard of these things called water wands, where you throw it and it points to the water. So
Right.
if I throw my drumstick, it's gonna point me towards the town and the best way to get in. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it up and watch it fall.
Some sound logic.
That's some amazing logic. So yeah, you so you're gonna be rolling a dice because you're using this drumstick to throw it on the floor. I think you're gonna do this in a very angry manner. I don't think you're always angry. You're gonna be throwing it as hard as you like. Come on. So you're gonna be rolling 2 dice here. So if you
Well,
want
of
to roll
course,
me.
because the first time I didn't like that throw, so
Exactly, yeah.
didn't
So
work. I got angry
it takes
at
you a
the
couple of throws, and you get a bit angry as you're doing it and everything. So yeah, roll me 2d6. Let's see how Bo deals. How he did in this. So you rolled a 4 and a 1. So yeah, so Bo's there, and he's throwing his stick. And the stick always seems to land in a general direction, which is always away from him. And he gets a good idea where the town centre will be. Unfortunately, though, for Bo, he threw his stick so hard in a fit of anger, it hit a rock and bounced back and went right into his eye. And now the stick was lodged out of his eye with blood pouring down and everything. And Bo has taken an ounce of damage there. Unfortunately.
You were supposed to hit the ground, not me.
You look like Brenda.
Yeah. Which brings us to Croy. So Bo comes back with this stick sticking out of his eye. And he tells you all that you think he has a rough idea of the middle of the town and everything. Where the tavern may be, because he thinks it might be in the middle of the town. So you now have good knowledge of where the middle of the town is. So you might have a little advantage.
Well, when we do the raids on all the stuff that they take from the town and to the town and back to the town again, those things that the horses pull. Well, we could stop. We could do a little ambush at the side of the road on the way that the stick's pointing. Look, which way is the stick pointing now? It's that way. No, it's that way.
And,
yeah, that way.
Yeah,
That's
and
the way.
as he's looking around, you see the stick doing this as he's looking around everywhere.
So we go find a road, and we stop the humans when they're bringing the things, and we ask them. Well, no, we don't ask them. We fight them until they tell us. Yeah.
So, Grinder's idea is to go and fight the humans on the road. Okay.
And the travelers. Jump
so
on their backs and bite their necks.
Okay, so, okay, so yeah, so as you say this to your party, you get a slight addiction. As you say that, and you pull out your little flask and you have a quick swig of dragon blood. And it goes in the eye. Okay, you pour a bit of this dragon blood in your eye, and you have this. You're following your dream to fight and win here. You're literally talking about fighting. So with that, and the fact that you're using your heirloom and your addiction of Grinder, we're gonna roll 3d6 here, d6 here, d6.
A 6, a 1, and a 2.
Don't forget that reroll from Dave.
Yeah, we have got a reroll from Dave. Apologies if I did miss that. So, unfortunately, it means you're going to re-roll that 6.
Why is that?
Because we're re-rolling the highest dice now. The highest dice you gets re-rolled on this one, I'm afraid.
Well, you got no 2. That's good, isn't it? You got 2 and 1 and a 2.
So you get a 2, 1, and 2. Now there is a +1, thanks to Bo on this. So it's a 3, a 2, and a 3. So unfortunately, yeah. So you say this to the party, and you're like, "Let's go fight them." And unfortunately, yeah, the party aren't with you on this one, and you're not quite sure which goblin it was in the party, but one of them just whacked you round the face, and you're on the floor, and you're all stood around him. No, we can't fight humans. Humans are too powerful, and you because of this, you've actually dampened the spirit of the party. Yeah, so you take 1 damage, and unfortunately, the next person is going to be getting a -2 on their rolls. So yeah,
It's terrible. Nobody wants to fight.
which is Meow Nerva.
Yay.
So Yank, you're stood here. We don't know whether it was Yank that just punched Grinder in the face. Could be. But yeah, what comes to Yank's mind here? What inspires him here? Thinking, he's got a way to gain intel here.
I thought we have a tavern. Tavern is where you get beer. We've been there. Do they not know Tavern? Tavern knows Tavern, don't they?
Okay, yeah. So you're suggesting going back to the goblin that's give you this quest, maybe asking a few more questions to maybe where this tavern is.
Yeah, just we've got a tavern, so go and ask in the tavern.
Yeah. And I do think so. What skilly? Which of your items here do you think you're using here to push that?
Well, the owner of our tavern is amazing. It's fantastic. It's very interesting. But they said to be quiet and not tell anyone. So I will go in my cloak. I will hide.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna grab your shady cloak on because you got to keep this a secret from the others. You're going to be when Yank goes in, he's actually targeting the most interesting people, because that's part of his dream and that's what he wants to do. So he's looking around with his cloak and he's trying to work out who's interesting here. sort of thing. So yeah, let's get 2d6 off you for this. That's a 3 and a 6.
Not bad.
Which
Not bad.
it's not bad. It's not bad. But there is a -2. There is a -2. So that's a 1 and a 4. That's my maths. So yeah, and you have this idea, and you go into the tavern, and you ask around, and you do get a few people who give you some good ideas. And one goblin, I've been to the town. Yeah, it's a big building. It's got a big red roof. It's the only one that's got a red roof. But unfortunately, you do approach one goblin who's also wearing a shady cloak, and he was interesting. That's why you approached him. And somehow, by asking him a question, he turns around and, I don't want to talk to you! And stabs you with a dagger.
So interesting.
And runs
Thank you
off.
for asking questions.
Yeah, so you do take a bit of damage, but you have gained some helpful intel, which I will give a bonus to the next goblin, hopefully. Which is Borga. Borga is Peeper Pop. So Yank comes back to the group. He's like holding this stab wound, and he tells you all that he's gained this intel that the inn has a red roof, and it's the only building that has a red roof in the town. But he is bleeding everywhere. But yeah, so what does this inspire Yank to do something, or does he come up with a new idea?
This does. So, okay, I got a plan, guys. So Yank is going to head to near the town, and Yank's idea is to get a high vantage point to look over the town. So he's going to use his frog in a sack as a grappling hook, using the tongue to swing to climb up a tree. And when he's at the top of the tree, he's going to bring out his eye, look closely at the town to see if he can see a red-roofed building.
I'm
And-
Yank.
You obviously want to go to the top of something high because it's colder up there, which of course just means it's cooler. And of course, doing all this, it looks cool as heck.
Yeah. Yeah, and Peeper Pop comes up with that idea. Are you doing this on your own, or are you suggesting the whole party goes out to try and find this building?
I'm gonna say I'm doing this. If they want to do it themselves, that's their prerogative.
And they all say no. They're all like, no. Okay. Yeah, and so you're following your dream here, I would say, to find the coolest thing. Because at the moment, the coolest thing is this tavern. It's, this is so cool. You're going to steal a tavern. And I'm going to imagine Peeper Pop here is going to be using his zoom vision.
Yeah, when I'm up at the top of the tree.
Yeah, definitely when he's up at the top of the tree.
I'm getting up that tree using the frog. What is in the sack?
And right, okay, so you're going to be using the sack in the bag as some sort of grapple?
Yeah, I'm going to use the tongue of the frog, hold that, spin him around my head, throw the frog up, and then climb up.
Oh, good God.
Never fails.
Yes, okay. So Peeper Pop goes to the town, and he finds a tree, and he pulls the frog out of the thing, grabbing it with its tongue, and he launches it up the tree. And let's see how well he does. So we're going to give you 3d6 here for this roll.
Is that 3d6 or is that 5d6?
3d6, just your zoom vision. You're finding the coolest thing.
Cool.
You're not really being cool because
really
you're being very stealthy, so you can't be cool if no one can see it.
That'd be 4 things then.
Why, what's the fourth thing?
The 4th thing is I am a goblin and always roll 1d6 regardless.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, sorry, yeah, because it's extra stuff. So you can roll 6d6. Thought so. Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna live forever.
And you get a +1 to all of these. So that's a 3, a 2, a 2, and a 6.
We got one success at least.
So yeah, you do. You do spot the red roof as you get up to the tree, and you see the red roof, and you scratch into the tree a goblin mark, which all goblins know, indicating where this is, sort of thing. Unfortunately, once you've done that, you come to get down from the tree, and the branch that you use to get down just gives way. And unfortunately, you fall, and you just go splat on the floor because it was a really tall tree.
I land on my back to keep the frog safe.
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, Peeper Pop goes pop as he hits the floor, and he is instantly killed in his first decision on the game. And unfortunately, this act of death does bring a sour note to the team because he never comes back. And unfortunately, Minty Chester, who is the next goblin, was near when poor Peeper Pop fell down. So Minty managed to pick up the frog and has come back to town with the grave news that Peeper Pop was unfortunately passed away. So, Pop, would you like to introduce Peeper Pop? This is the picture that you've sent us for... Sorry, introduce Minty Chester. This is the picture that you've supplied for Minty Chester. It's a very happy-looking goblin. What's that about?
Hello. Well, I'm Minty Chester. I used to be Chester, but I found this little packet with these little white tablets in. I chewed them, and they made my breath minty fresh. And now my breath is the coolest. Just have a smell. You smell that of mint.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
I think Peeper Pop died. I have his frog. It's mine now.
Yeah. He did die. And like I said, that upsets the team and everything. But unfortunately, they don't care as much. But it does get them a little bit. Which means it's now we're back to funny. So Minty Chester comes back and he tells you the sad news that Peeper Pop has died trying to find this tavern. Does scare you guys a little bit because this tavern's now, oh god, the tavern's killed somebody, is what you're thinking. But you have an idea. What does Bo have an idea on? What's his plan?
Well, he left the note in the tree. It sounds like we know the direction to go. So,
what more intel do we need? They can be for your other stages, so like maybe for gaining intel on the humans.
I think we need to find all the people that know exactly where the tavern is. Because, yeah, we know where to go, but we don't know the best way to get there. So, I say we throw a party, have everyone who knows about the tavern come in, and then we'll get all the information we need, like the best ways to get in, and whether or not there's any guards there, or maybe how big it is.
Yeah. Is this a goblin party?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. No. It's a party for everybody. I'll make sure you have my face on it though, because like everyone knows me. Everyone's gonna know me.
Yeah.
Because that's how we're gonna get them. And if any of you don't spread the word about it, I'm gonna find out, and I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. So, Bo this idea. You all go about it. You one of you starts drawing posters of Bo and starts passing them around. You even pass them to some of the patrolling goblins who are to spread the word amongst people outside the camp and everything. And the invitation is really weird. It says, do you like taverns? Do you know things about the taverns, especially in the local village? Come to the party. This party's for you. It's so subtle and amazingly discreet at the same time. So let's see what we can add on to this here. So you're going to be rolling your standard dice. We're going to add on your expertise of a rock party because you're throwing a rock party. So we're up to 2. I think you're putting your face on every poster, so that's going along with your dream of wanting to be a celebrity because everyone's going to know you. And as always, Bo does this in the most angriest way because you're scaring everyone into doing it. You're forcing them into doing it, which is really scary. And
they are a goblin.
And they're we've got that as the first one. Yeah, so we got rock parties, wants to be a celebrity, quick to anger, is a goblin. I think that's fair enough. Yeah, so let's get 4d6 off you. Don't forget they're all at -1. Oh dear. Yeah.
I'm not too
bad. So we have got you've got a 4, a 5, a 0, and a 4. This party goes on. Loads of goblins turn up. Some people outside of camp, some ogres. One human who looks like he really shouldn't be there and realizes this and doesn't stay too long, but you manage to get some information off him beforehand. And the party goes somewhat well. You gain a decent amount of information. You gain a list of some valuable people who go to the inn. Unfortunately, the person who writes the list doesn't do it in a great manner because goblins can't write. And so you have these lists and you know how many people go to the tavern. You just don't know who they are, where they are, or anything about them. Unfortunately for you, though, Bo parties a bit too hard. And at one point in the party, he's on the stage, he's singing, he's entertaining, and he goes for a stage dive. And there's no one there. And poor Bo lands headfirst into the floor and cracks his neck. And he just rolls over into the dance floor. And everyone carries on dancing around you. Bo is dead in the dance floor. And all the goblins just cheer and next minute parts of your body have been ripped up and they're being waved around like glow sticks. And it's a real sad ending for Bo. But he's forever immortalized as one of the best party throwers in the Goblin camp. Unfortunately, though, Bo is dead. But the list and some of the intel that you gained has inspired your party. And this party was so good. You guys feeling so entertained about this idea now. You've been rejuvenated. And as Bo's body parts are being passed around, Lorne picks up the drumstick off the body of Bo. And let's introduce Lorne. This is the drawing that you've supplied of Lorne. I'm sure I recognise this as a real person at some point in my life. Would you like to introduce Lorne?
Hey guys, I'm Lorne. Ooh, I like what you got there. I think I'm just gonna take a look at it for a moment and, oh hey, what's that? I don't know what happened.
Yeah. And yeah, and somehow bits of Bo's body disappeared from the party. No one knows where they went. Lorne does. So this is Lorne who's now in the party. So the party goes somewhat okay. Unfortunately, you don't gain anything of significant values that you would say is good intel. And after the party is done, Grinder, this party gave you an idea. What was the idea it gave Grinder? What's Grinder thinking of next?
Well, we know what the tavern looks like, and we know where it is. And there was that human that was at the party that Bo did. What happened? Anyway, when he got killed outside, we got his clothes. And I'm thinking that we could use them as a disguise.
Okay.
And we could all stand on each other's shoulders and like put on all of his stuff, and then we could go into town like we're a human.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'd have to balance on each other.
Okay, so the intel that you're going to be gaining here is to try and find out what happened to this human, so that you can go and get the clothes for his human disguise. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, right. Okay. And again, Grinder has this idea, and pulls out the dragon blood, pops another shot into her eye.
Of course. Every
So
time.
straight away, we're rolling 3d6 here, and. You're at a party, and unfortunately, everyone's leaving the party. Grinder's the only one trying to get back into the party to try and find out what had gone on with this human, and he's asking a lot of people who are ready to go to bed awkward questions about what happened to the human that was in the corner at one point. So you're not blending in at all. So
No,
we're
I'm
going to
not
get
blending in. It's never a thing.
not at all. So we're going to get 4d6 from you here.
Do I get a plus 2?
They all get a +2, annoyingly, yes. Ooh, so we get a 3, a 4, a 6, and a 5. Wow. So that means that you gain the 2 successes you need to complete the first task. You gain
Overachieving. I like it.
You gain a +1 to the next roll. No, you gain a plus. You get a +1 to the next roll, but you also gain a -1 to the next roll. So unfortunately, you gain essentially nothing for the next person who rolls. So Grinder has this idea, and you go in. And Grinder asks a few of the goblins, and it turns out that the human was grabbed by a few goblins who have tied him up and are currently spit roasting him. But fortunately for you, they did strip the human before they threw him on the spit roast. And you go through the human's possessions whilst being served a piece of the said human. And amongst the human's possessions is a map of the town that he's come from, and it quite clearly indicates where the tavern is, the best routes to go and everything. Unfortunately, though, all the clothes were violently ripped off the human and are bloodstained, and you don't believe that any of them will be any use whatsoever in any sort of disguise. But with this map, you think you've got more than enough intel now to proceed with actually going and finding the actual tavern in town. So that brings us on to our next task.
Did we do the complication?
So now we're going to do the complication. So yes, you succeeded in gaining intel on the tavern. So your next task is going to be finding the tavern. So at this point, you're all going to be leaving the Goblin camp, and you're going to be going to this town. You have got a map, so that should help, hopefully, but we'll see. But there is a complication to this. And we're going off the extended misfortune table in the Goblin Handbook, which was customly designed by an amazing person who I can't find the name of in the book because it's not on that page, so I can't shout him out. But get the book yourself and you'll find out. And we're going to see what misfortune you have. So, I need a volunteer here, one of yous. In fact, let's get chat involved here. So anyone in chat, if you'd like to roll me a d6, and you could do this by using the bot command, which is !roll 1d6. I think it is. Anyway, we're going to find out. Anyone in chat, I'll take the first one first. It wasn't !roll 1d6. It turns out. For God's sake. Oh, what did we do it? Is it roll 1d6? Oh, there we go. Cry worked it out. So we'll take Cry's first roll, which was just !d6.
Okay.
Which you've... What?
Just saying Borgat guessed it right.
Told you it'd be a 4.
So it's a 4, which means we will be looking at cruel nature. So if somebody else would like to do me... There you go, Dave, thank you very much. You rolled a 2. So as you are going to town, a hawk spies your party and decides that you all look very delicious.
No.
I don't know,
So-
bird.
You are all going to town, and you all take note that there is a very large hawk circling above you.
Maybe it thinks, Yank, you've got feathers on you. Maybe it... Oh, I don't know what happened to my accent, eh? I think that, Yank, you want that hawk for some feathers. Look at that.
So yeah, and Yank, you're stood there. You're leading the party. Yank's got the map of the town that you're heading to. What is your plan? Because this hawk is circling above you, and it's not a good omen for you goblins. What's his Yank going to do here? You need to get to the tavern, but this hawk is going to cause you some issues.
Hide.
Okay.
So we can-
So Yank, you shout to the others. We need to hide. I'm assuming Yank puts his cloak on to help hide.
Yeah, he just chills into a ball on the floor and just puts a cloak on. Just like,
Yep. And you're using your expertise here of hiding. And what really helps Yank hide at the moment is that he is covered in feathers, which is really good camouflage because, funnily enough, there was a pile of feathers nearby that he jumps into. So would you like to roll me 4d6, please, Yank? Let's see how well you do. Ooh,
Mediocre.
that's not bad, actually. That's not too bad. Yeah. You do manage to gain a little success. So, Yank, you dive into this pile of feathers. And, yeah, you... Unfortunately for Yank, this pile of feathers wasn't just randomly there out of chance. It was actually a trap that was laying for innocent goblins. And as you hit the feathers just poof in front of you, and you fall. Poor Yank falls down a pit into spikes.
Aw.
And poor Yank dies.
Didn't they all have a +1?
No, they all
I
had a
think-
0. They all had a 0
Oh, right.
because it was a positive and a negative from Croyd's last roll, unfortunately.
Right.
That's fine.
So
Because
poor
of the
Yank falls down into this pit, but because you died, there's now a lovely corpse, which distracts the hawk for a bit. The hawk swoops down into this pit, starts picking at parts of Yank. Which is when Plink, the Red Eye, steps out of a bush and manages to yanks off the tattered cloak of Yank, ironically, as he falls down into the pit. And again, as you introduce Yank, let's have a look at the picture that you have submitted for. As you introduce Plink, for Plink, the Red Eye. Wow.
Look at them socks.
The socks, yes.
Where's the Hooper socks?
Plink, introduce yourself. Come on, Plink. Sock it to us.
I don't even know why I'm doing socks. I really don't. I'm Blink, Red Eye. I have my cloak, so I'll take the cloak off him and swish it round and try and tie it around his neck, just so it flows behind him. What you will notice is he does have pointed teeth that wobble, and he has to push them back up every now and again.
Yep.
His eyes are just bloodshot. Constantly, and he's also a little bit tired.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, he'll always have make sure his teeth is hanging over the front of his mouth, just like, and pop them back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so welcome Plink to the party. But not only do you gain a success for getting to the tavern, you manage to give a bit of a distraction to your team, so there is a nice +1 there for the next role for your team members. Which is Borgat, Minty Chester. What Minty? So Minty Chester just sees Yank go straight down this hole, and then instantaneously you know poor Yank is dead. What does Minty have an idea now? Because the hawk's distracted. You've got a chance here to get to the tavern.
I'll pick the map up off the floor. Presumably that was let go as
it was
rest in peace. Fell. And now look at the map, and I'll go,
Well, we need to find the tavern, so we need to follow this map. Obviously.
Yeah.
And my brain's turned to mush, and I cannot think. I need to find a tavern. How am I going to find it? What's the coolest way to find it? I'm going to use the power of divination. I'm going to feel all over. I'm going to breathe on the map.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel around for the coolest part of the map where we know the tavern is. To feel the coolest path to take. And when I sense that, I'm going to stand up and do my cool walk. Oh yeah, here I go.
Yeah.
Here I go.
So
look at me go.
I've got
here
four
I
things.
go, walking super cool.
You're not the
like
hands
this.
again. So I've got 4 things here. We've got your Goblin, Minty Fresh Breath. You're breathing on the map. You're trying to find the coolest thing on the map. You are a cool guy.
I'm a cool guy.
So I think that's 4. If you'd like to roll 4d6 for us, that would be absolutely great. Hello, Raiders! Welcome to the madness. Thank you, Scope, for raiding us. You rolled a 2, a 6, 3, a 4, and that's really good. Unfortunately, Groovy Loopy did put a reroll on you there. Unfortunately,
How dare you? Groovy
Loopy has put some goblin power on you, so I will ask for that d6 to be re-rolled. Oh, you rolled a 6 again! Unfortunately, it didn't change the outcome. Damn it! Damn it, I hate it. So
I'm too much of a cool guy.
Minty, you're looking on this map. And And you very wellly navigate to the town. You manage to navigate the guys into the town and everything. So you get 1 success to the actual task.
2 successes.
Oh. No.
Got +1.
Oh shoot! You do have a +1. Sorry. Actually, yeah, that's a full success then, because your 6 becomes a 7, so it's a double success. 4 becomes a 5, so that's your success. So yeah, you fully success. Unfortunately, you do give a -2 to the next person who's going to be rolling. But yeah, you manage.
Wouldn't it be a -1 and a +1 because it's a +1 on the 2 and the 3?
Yes, sorry, it would be a 0. You're right, absolutely right. Yeah, and you manage to navigate the whole party to the pub. You can actually read. You're one of the very few goblins who can actually read the map, and you manage to fully navigate everyone to the tavern. And so you're in the middle of the town. It is late at night, so you're not being any caution to humans going about the business. It is late at night. You are now facing the tavern. You are fully aware of where the tavern is, which means you've only got one last part of your prep to do, which is to get human disguises. Stage 3. So we're going back to funny on this one with Lorne of the Basement Horde. So you're here, Lorne. You're looking at the tavern. You feel good about this? What is Lorne's idea to get a human disguise? Sorry, are you muted? Have you muted yourself?
My apologies. Thank you for that. Lorne is the perfect one to get the human disguises. Because Lorne, knowing that he needs to get disguises, is going to go to where the people are. He's going to find a party. He's going to listen for the music, find the party, and he's going to pop in just, "What up, everybody? I'm here to have some fun." And he makes his announcement to where, and this is going to be a human party, obviously, because he's got to get the disguises. So he's going to go around, mingle with the people, and because he's a kleptomaniac, every hand he shakes, he's going to try and take something from him.
Yeah, I see it perfectly. So we have Lorne going in. He's managed to find a party in the town, and it's rocking this party. He's going to try and blend in. As you say, he almost looks sort of human-like with his little jacket and his hair and everything. So he's acting the celebrity, the big boss of the town. As he's going round, he's using his drumstick to move and weave through people as he goes, like pointing at people as a bit of a distraction. And as you say, he's using his kleptomania to steal any bits of human accessories and stuff that will be good disguise. So let's roll 5d6, shall we?
Going hard today.
And so all of these don't get any plus or minus, so they are what they are. You roll a 6, so you do manage to steal, as he goes round, you do manage to steal a few bits of clothing, a few jackets that were on some chairs you managed to steal. Unfortunately, people realised that you were a goblin. And after you mingled around, people realised who you were, and they grabbed you, and they beat you up quite a bit. They were pounding on you like, "Get this goblin out of the tavern! He's not supposed to be here!" And unfortunately, you do take some damage because you were beaten up.
I should have put on pants for this party.
Unfortunately, you have raised the alertness of the town at the moment, and the next person's going to get a -3 to their rolls.
You're welcome, Croy.
Grinder! Grinder! You see poor Lorne coming back from this raving party in the town.
No, I followed him.
Oh, you followed him.
And I watched what he was doing,
Yeah.
Watch
And I
as I
saw he
got
got into a fight, and I knew if I went in there and punched a few humans in the face,
Okay.
then
You're going
I
in
would be
this
able to.
party.
So
Yep.
I'm gonna follow him in, and when the fight starts, I jump in through the door. There's already a slam mash, there's a rammy happening, and I jump in and I smash a few. I lost my accent again, didn't I? Oh, dear.
Just
It's
just
terrible when I
remember.
do that.
How does this get you disguises? Are you trying to steal clothes as you do this?
I'm gonna knock a human out entirely, drag it
Okay.
outside down
Yep.
the alley, and take off all its clothes,
Yep.
and it's gonna hopefully have a big coat on it or something.
Yep. So you're running in when you hear the ruckus and you hear Lorne's in trouble, and you run in and you're just going to jump on the first human that you see, and your aim is to knock him out and pull him out of the fight, hopefully without anyone noticing.
Yeah.
Then you've got
Give
a
myself
whole
a sort of dragon blood,
yeah.
just in the eye, just before. I jump in.
Definitely, yeah. So there we go. We've got the dragon blood straight away. I mean, you this character, unfortunately, Paul Grinder is always cursed to get the double because he's addicted and you're using it. So you're always going to get the double on that. You're not going to blend into this party, unfortunately, because you're a goblin and everyone is erased, and you are going in to fight and hopefully get a human. So this is going to be a 5d6 roll again, all with a -3. -3.
Rip.
Let's see what that looks like.
0, 1.
We got
2,
a 0.
2, -1.
Yeah.
I think Grinder's coming back, guys.
And yeah, Grinder, you go in and you grab the first human and you get into a fight. Unfortunately, an aggressive goblin really does piss off the humans in this fight, and there are guards at the door to this party where you were running in, and before you even get past the threshold of the party door, a steel blade slices poor Grinder in half.
Ooh.
And they don't finish. After you've sliced in half, all the guards gather round and they just cut you up into pieces. And your head is picked up, put on a spike, and put on the fence of the town. Grinder is obliterated.
The
But
vile
fortunately,
Lord Blackstone.
no one in the party knows about this and it has no effect on them. So that is a bonus. That is a real
That's a
bonus.
That's a -1.
Yeah, -1's death. It doesn't actually did give you a
No,
-1.
the three's a -1.
There was a 3.
Yeah, a -1 is just double death. So if you get a -1, it's instant death.
It's a not 1, 2, 2,
We'll
-1.
not argue with them. We'll not argue with them.
Yeah.
Don't argue with the GM.
You get an injury on a 1 and a 2. All these dice are minus or 1 and a 2, so they're all injuries. There is no 3. Yeah?
Yep.
You have to get a minus effect on the next person, it's got to be a 3, so there is no 3 in that. They're all injuries. Yeah.
I'm Goblin.
And if you get into a -1,
injuries.
a 0 or -1, it's just extra damage on extra injuries. So full on KOs.
5
unfortunately.
injuries.
Yeah, and
I thought we almost got away with it there too.
as the guards are cutting up,
For you pesky kids.
as the guards are cutting up Grinder, your little vial of dragon blood rolls down the street, and Plucky Pete was fortunately nearby and sees this and grabs the little vial. And let's introduce Plucky Pete. This is the picture that you've supplied for Plucky Pete. Plucky Pete.
Plucky.
Plucky Pete. Would you like to introduce him?
Hey. My name is Plucky Pete. I have had an unfortunate life. My face is covered in spots. At any point, they might explode.
It's lovely.
Very sad.
It's very sad. Yeah, and this is Plucky Pete. I was hoping to get the first task done before we had the break, but I think now's a good point to have a break because we've all lost our first goblin now, so we're on a full party wipe. We are all on the second goblin. So we're going to have a quick 10-minute break. Go and get yourselves a drink. Go get yourselves a break. Go do whatever you need to do. Go get a pot noodle and a hot dog and dip it in. Why not? Sure. And we'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. So stay tuned, and we will continue this adventure and no doubtly kill off all the goblins before the end of the night. That's the goal. Just a quick few shout-outs before we go. Thank you again for Scoon for that raid. Very much appreciated, mate. I hope you had a good night. I hope your stream was great. If you're still here. Thank you to Strain for your 11 months subscription to us. Much appreciated. Thank you to Croy for gifting Hey Mika a lovely gift sub. Thank you to Edgypops there for another gift sub to Go Show It. I hope you go and show it, but not in public. You might get arrested.
The creator of this game, you mean?
The creator? Yes, of course it is. Sorry, yes, you are absolutely right. I recognise the Twitch tag. Hello, are you watching? Please don't sue us for butchering your game. Hello, thank you to Borgat for your 9-month subscription. Very helpful. Thank you. But yeah, thank you to Go Show. As always, guys, this game is really good. It's a really good little fun. So do go check it out in the break. That's something you could do. I bought my copy on Amazon. And I also picked up the PDF on DriveThruRPG because I bought it twice. It's that good. Honestly, I love it. I think it's a little great. And I will say, in this, there is some extra adventures that we were looking at. One of them includes Sean Bean and killing him, which I think is going to be amazing. We will do that one day. Yeah, so we're going to have a 10-minute break. Thank you very much, guys. We will be back in 10 minutes. Hello, we're back.
Hey.
Welcome back. Hope you're all good. Hope you all managed to get your refreshments in the break. Did anyone get a hot dog for their pot noodle? Who knows?
I'll never tell.
Prawn crackers.
Try it. Dip your sausages in chocolate. That's really nice, and that's not a euphemism. Put
Really?
cordial in your milk. That's also another one that's really nice. Have you ever done that? No? Try that one. I swear by it, honestly. It's like a milkshake. It's great, actually. It's really nice. Do it. Just get your Vimto or something and put it in milk. You get a Vimto milkshake. It's actually quite nice. Enough of that. Welcome back. We're going to dive straight in because our goblins have only managed to still get onto task 1, so we're going to really need to pick up the pace here. So let's dive straight in, guys, shall we? You're all down. You've all lost a goblin now, so you're all on your second goblins. Minty just had an attempt. To get into the party. Unfortunately, no, you didn't. Sorry, Grinder had an attempt to get into the party, which went horribly wrong. And you've got some disguises at the moment because Lorne managed to get out with a few bits and pieces, a few coats that he managed to steal before he was tossed out on the street. But you still need a few more disguises if you can. So it's now back to Plink. You've just seen. Well, you believe Grinder's gone missing. You didn't see anything, so it's because it's not affected you. But Lorne's come back from this party with a few coats and everything. It's not quite enough. What does Plink think about as a way to get a few more disguises sorted?
So we know everything that previous goblins know, yes?
Yeah, you have hive mind knowledge. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so Plink is going to go hiding in the shadows of this building where the men come out really tired and try and attack one and steal their clothes.
Okay. Right, okay. Sure, let's go with that. So, Plink. So these people come out of the tavern. You see that one drifts off on their own. He's stumbling around a bit. He looks tired. He looks a bit drunk.
It's not the tavern.
It's not the tavern.
Building.
You've not realised it's the tavern.
The other building.
It's the other building. And he comes out, and Plink's hiding, waiting for them.
So, you grab them.
He's using the tattered cloak without a doubt. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I think a 3d6 there. Yeah, let's go with that. You've got a 0 to add to these, so they are what they are.
Sock and Plink.
You rolled a 1,
Hey.
a 5, and a 5. Don't remember, chat. You can force a reroll here if you want. You just go to your little point things there. There's 5 grand redemption points. If you get that in before I confirm the decision, it will take effect on this roll.
I think the time has run out, Andy.
Come on, let's go.
There we go. Someone pirate got in there just in the nick of time and everything. So can we get a reroll there, Meowderva, for one of those 5s? Oh, it is a 2. Oh, what a shame. And yeah, so Plink, you go to jump on this person, and you manage to you get on him. You snap his head very easily. He is drunk, and he falls down to the ground, and you start pulling off bits of him as a disguise and everything. And as you turn round, there are 2 guards stood over you. They've seen what you've done, and you drop the clothes in panic, but unfortunately the guards slice through you before you get chance to even make a run, and poor Plink is instantly killed.
Wow.
And that is the end of Plink. Fortunately, as the guards turn away, another goblin comes out of the bush that was watching. Moppet, they're not supposed to be here. Comes out, grabs all the clothing that you've managed to get off, including the tattered cloak that Plink was wearing, and puts that on himself. But yeah, takes all the human clothes, so you do have 1 success to that last bit of the goal. So let's introduce Moppet. Let's see, Moppet. You've drawn Moppet here. That is Moppet. Would you care to explain? Why a Smurf has made it onto the show?
They're not supposed to be here.
La la la.
So, it's Moppet.
Yep.
I'm not supposed to be here. Can survive in water. Like, I have my own homemade flippers. They don't make too much noise, but I have my goggles, and I have this reed so I can breathe.
Yeah.
And I'm this colour because I stay in water. I should not be here. And then the cloak, I just wear it as like a head towel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, so that is Moppet. They're not supposed to be here. So yeah, hang on, I've lost my turn order. So then we're going back to, it is Minty Chester. So you see Moppet comes back with all these clothes. There's a few more there, but there's just something missing. You feel like you need something to cover the face. You've got jackets, you've got pants, but you definitely need like a hat or something to complete the ensemble.
You're not supposed to be here. Well, everyone's getting in fights, and that's not cool. You know what is cool? Theft. So I'm gonna go to the local haberdashery, break the window with my frog in a sack, sneak in and steal a hat. Because that is cool. I'm gonna find the coolest hat, of course.
Yep. And Minty Chester, you go to the haberdashery, which you assume it's the haberdashery. We don't know. Let's find out. So you're going to be breaking the window. You don't have any tools, but you have a frog in a sack. So you smash the frog in a sack against the window in an attempt to break it and get in. You're hoping to find the coolest hat in there, and you are a goblin,
Theft
of course.
is cool.
So you get your thing. And yeah, theft is cool for goblins. You're doing a cool act. You're doing like a bank job here. So I think 4d6 is fair. Yeah, let's have 4d6 here, all with zero modifiers.
My highest dice. That's a
A
shame.
1 for 1 6. Yeah, and we have got a reroll there from Ange. That's really appreciated, Ange.
Could I just point out,
Yes.
Ange requested that the reroll be not a bad one. Which
yeah.
is...
Unfortunately, Ange isn't running this game, so no. We're going to take the points, but we're re-rolling the 6. Thanks, Ange.
Right.
So that's a 1, a 4, a 1, and a 1.
Is that another reroll for me?
No, you only get one reroll, I'm afraid.
Phew.
One reroll per, so that'll be for the next person. And yeah, so
Hey guys, everybody watch this.
Minty, you swing the frog at the window and you smash it. And the window breaks and you're in the shop. Unfortunately, Minty, you couldn't read. And what you thought was the haberdashery actually turned out to be the sheriff's office. And you break this window and there are 3 bulky guys in armor staring at you. And
fellas?
all out of behind them comes a bolt that pierces through your head. And
Chewing gum is stuck on the end of the bolt.
yeah, it goes straight through your head and out pops a piece of chewing gum and that launches into the tree. The bolt hits you so hard that as you fall, the frog in the sack goes flying into the nearest bush. And
that's what it feels like to chew 5 gum.
And yeah, and unfortunately, poor Minty has just died. The sack lands in a bush nearby where, fortunately, Rog the Dodge Burton was hiding, which we'll introduce in a second. But you did distract the guards. Because you've attacked the sheriff's office, all the guards, a bell goes off, and all the guards who were near where all the people are go rushing towards the sheriff's office. So you have given a +1 there to the next person. And yeah. But out of this bush pops Rog the Dodge Burton. Let's have a look at what Rog the Dodge Burton looks like here. Oh my god, he is so cool. Would you like to introduce Rog the Dodge?
Alright, I'm Rog the Dodge Burton. And I've got the stubbliest stubble of all goblin kind.
To light a match off of it and blow it out and wink at the camera, but you can't tell because of the shades.
Oh, he broke the wall! He broke the wall! Welcome, Rog. Unfortunately, you didn't help get any sort of hat or anything to help cover up, which is what we were really after. But it's okay, because maybe Moppet, they're not supposed to be here, has an idea. No, sorry, I've gone the wrong way. Maybe Lorne, the basement horde, has an idea of how to commandeer some sort of hat or something as a disguise. What is your plan, Lorne? You are still injured from your previous attempt.
Yeah, a little beat up here, and admittedly got a bit of a headache now. I'm thinking if we're, a little beat up, maybe I'm gonna take it a little bit slow here and I'm gonna try and find the local hospital area and see if maybe I can get some pity from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like,
Okay.
hey guys, you can't let this celebrity die. I'm hurt. Help me out. Like, my head's wounded. I need to look better. Give me some hats. I'm gonna panhandle.
Yeah, definitely. So you're a goblin. You're pretending to be a celebrity to try and carry some favour. You're going to be using your kleptomaniac skills to try and steal anything you can if you come across it, as always.
Absolutely.
You're being so dramatic. You're even using the drumstick as like a mini cane as you hobble along, like So yeah, that'll be 4d6, please, if you could. And there is a re-roll here from some old pirate on that 6. So if you could kind of re-roll that 6 for us there. That's a 2. So you've rolled a grand total of a 2, a 1, a 3, and a 1 there. And Lorne goes in to the local medic area, and he's there on his crutch. Unfortunately, there are guards at the hospital because they protect their innocent. It's a hospital. And these guards were running out of the hospital to go to the sheriff's office when they bump into you. And... Sorry, they do have a +1, so that's a 2, a 2, a 3, and a 4, sorry, should I say. Unfortunately, it doesn't change the outcome for poor Lorne, I'm afraid. And these guards, they see Lorne hobbling in, and they take no pity. Goblin! Stop! And you are sliced at the door. Blood splatters up the walls of this hospital. The nurses come crying out with sponges. And poor Lorne is split in two. And your drumstick bounces down the path and rolls. Where, fortunately, Rel of the Basement Horde was hiding. So poor Lorne has died. Outright. And you don't get a plus or minus passed on, so it's a 0 for the next person. But yeah, Rel comes out, he picks up the stick, having seen Lorne just be decapitated at a hospital of all places. And let's have a look at what Rel looks like. Let's introduce Rel to the situation. Oh my god, Rel! Why have you guys not drawn pants on these goblins? It makes it so much worse.
Goblins don't need pants.
Would you like to introduce Rel for us?
Like, guys, I got the magical drumstick now. This is my turn, and I'm going to lead us into fantastic celebritydom. And you know what? We got this. I got it. I am the new leader. And at all times, yes, my hands will be in the rock-on symbol. This is what's going to happen. I will lead us into glory. Rock on.
No, I like Rel. He's got some stuff about him. Unfortunately, Lorne didn't manage to get anything before he was decapitated, which means we hand back to Plucky Pete. Sorry, not Plunky. Pluky.
Like book. Pluk.
Plucky Pete.
Pluky.
That's probably why I'm struggling with it.
Plucky. 2 O's together. 2 O's. There you go. Like book. Or two.
Plucky Pete.
Plucky Pete.
Plucky Pete.
I've got a great idea. I go to a house. I stand in front of it.
Yep.
I bang on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And when they open up the door, I get one of my spots, my plukes, and I squeeze it, and it goes in their face.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
they punch me, and then I punch them back, and then I keep on punching them until they fall over, and I steal their clothes.
Rog vomits.
I think we all do, to be honest. Okay, so Plunky is a goblin. He's going to a house and Pluky. Sorry. Pluky is a goblin. He's going to a house to fight and hopefully win. He's not going to be blending in because he's going to be. He's really obvious. He's using his pustules, which is really handy. I think that's good enough. So let's get a 4d6 roll from you, please, Pluky. Plucky. Yeah.
That's not terrible.
That's not terrible unless
how you wanted it to.
and you go up to this door, and you knock on the door, and a man opens the door. It's the local butcher, and he's stood there with blood on his bib and everything, and a knife. Goblin, what are you? Get away! And he springs down his axe, not his axe, his butcher's knife on you, and he slices a part of you off.
But in
Remove
doing
some.
so,
But
the ooze that
yeah,
he releases.
the ooze does really, and it pops over, and some of it does go into this butcher's eye, and he's blinded, and he's stood at this door. What is this? Where are you? Unfortunately, though, you are Pluky. You've been hit by the arm and you fall back a bit. So you do take a damage. But you have rendered this poor butcher somewhat incapacitated, and someone may get an advantage on this. So you have gained a +1 advantage to the next party member. Well done. Unfortunately, though, there was no successes gained here. You didn't manage to get anything of disguise worth. Which means we rotate to Moppet, who is flashing at us. Moppet, what is your... So you see Pluky go up to this house and try and distract this person. You see the butcher take a good chunk of poor Pluky out. But you see this butcher, he's like waving in the air, he's blinded, there's gunk all over his face. What's your plan here? What do you think, what's your instantaneous moment that could get you killed?
Moppet is going to follow because he's not supposed to be here, so he's just going to follow someone else. And he is going to try and get past the butcher now they're incapacitated, using his cloak for protection against the grossness.
Yep.
And going to try and find something inside.
Okay. Right, I see. And so, fair enough. So Moppet is hiding from people trying to sneak past. He's using his cloak to do it. He is a goblin, of course, by the way. And as you do, of course, as a goblin, you're chewing your straw as you do this. And you're being as quietly as possible whilst chewing this. Yeah. So a 4d6 with a +1, please. Let's see what that comes out as.
Ooh.
That's a 7, a 2, a 4, and a 3. That's very good. Yeah. And you go into the house. You do manage to find the butcher's spare robes and hats and everything, masks and stuff. You find enough materials for the full disguise. You do complete this task completely. You get more than enough. Unfortunately, though, as you are leaving the building and you walk past this butcher who's blind, he blindly swings and lops off one of your ears with his butcher's knife. You do take 1 damage.
My glasses fall down.
Yeah, your glasses will no longer stay on your head anymore. They're half locked. But you managed to get out without any worse effects or anything. And you've got enough for your disguise. And with that, guys, you have completed task number 1. Done. Woo!
Did it.
Yeah.
Record time.
You've managed to do task number 1. It's only cost you 2, 4, 6, 7 goblins to do it.
We weren't using them.
Yeah. And so we now move on to task 2. So yeah, you get the materials back. You all rejoice. You've got all the stuff. So we're going to go on to task 2. So for task 2, again, we're going to have another issue that's going to creep up. If a person in chat would like to do me exclamation mark D6 to find out where that complication is going to land, I'll take the first roll from chat, please. Anyone there? Thank you once again, Dave, who rolled a 2, which means it's again in stage 2 of this task. So when you come to gain access to the tavern, there's going to be a complication for you to have to deal with. So that'll be interesting to find out. So if you could all roll me a d6 so we can work out your play order for this next task. Spice it up a little bit. Who's not rolled? Has someone not rolled here?
Oh, that would be me.
There's an go. So going first will be Croy. Then it'll be followed by Meow Nerva, and so Borgat and Borgat and Funny if you re-roll again for us.
Get my ones out of the way.
Yeah, so that's so Minty, so that'll be Borgat, followed by Funny. So we have turn order of Croy, Meow Nerva, Borgat, and Funny for task number 2. So task number 2, you start off with stage 1. Find a thing to put the tavern on. So you're all stood there. You now see the tavern. You've got all the materials you think you need to infiltrate the tavern. You now need to find something to help transport the tavern back once you've stole it. So we're going to go straight to Pluky Pete. Pluky, what's your idea here for some sort of method to transport said tavern back to the camp?
It's gonna take. It's a bit bigger than we thought it was, and I think we might need to take a few shots. But just down there's a cart with a beast on it, and the wagon that it has, we could put lots of the tavern on it and take that bit back first, and then come back and get another bit and take that bit back. That seems like a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna go up the street to where the beasts are, and I'm gonna steal an ox, and I'm gonna fight it until it does what I want it to do, and the thing that it'll put on will be the wagon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So Pluky has spotted a wagon. He's going to fight to take over this wagon from whatever beast is there and hopefully win it. He's not blending in as he's stealing in a wagon from the stables. It's quite obvious what he's doing. I think that's fair. So we have 3 dice to roll, and you don't have any modifications on this, I'm afraid. So it's just whatever you roll.
Ooh.
A 5, a 5, 1. I should just reiterate for those who are watching. In this task 2, they need 4 successes to complete any tasks. So we're looking for 4 here. So you roll a 5, a 5, and a 1.
The reroll.
Oh, we got a reroll.
And yes, Summon Pyro, thank you very much. We got a reroll. And makes one of those 5s into a 3. Thank
Only
you,
the
Summon
DM
Pyro.
will think that. We'll think that.
Thank you very much. So you go to this cart, and there's this beast that's still attached to the cart, this 4-legged beast. And as you go to remove it in hope that it will go away and then you can take the cart, unfortunately, this beast, what we know is a horse, it rears its leg and it whacks you one in the face. And unfortunately, it's enough to kill our poor Plucky Pete. Plucky Pete. Thank God he's dead. I don't have to mispronounce his name anymore. But as you die, the horse runs off. You manage to just unbuckle it as you can. And this cart is loose and it rolls out of the stables ever slightly onto the street. There for the taking for whoever. Unfortunately, though, the sound of the horse being bolted and everything does cause a little distraction, and again, the town guards, very aware that something's going on in this town right now, start heading towards the stables as they see the horse bolt off and run. So there is going to be a -1 there for the next person. And as Plucky Pete dies and he gets bolted by this horse, the veil of what was probably never dragon's blood in the first place goes flying and lands across the street next to another goblin called Dimp the Warrior. And let's bring in Dimp the Warrior. Let's have a look at Dimp. There's Dimp. Would you like to introduce Dimp?
Oh my.
I don't fight from anger. I fight from fear. I'm scared. Everything's got to go wrong. Fight it, and it will not go wrong because it'll be dead.
Dimp is somewhere between Michael Caine and Angela Gretel. And is it Angela? It's not Angela Gretel, is it? What's it? So maybe there is a person out there called Angela Gretel and she fights for humanity's sake. We'll go with that right now. I'm pretty sure I'm mixing up 2 names there. It's fine. So there we have Dimp, ladies and gentlemen. And as this happens, Moppet, they're not supposed to be here. You see this cart open out on the floor and everything. This cart looks sizable enough. You could probably get parts of the tavern in it, maybe? What's your idea here? Because it is out in the open at the moment. The guards are running to the stables. We might need to secure this cart if we can. Stash it somewhere, maybe. Or maybe get another vehicle of some sort. What do you think you've got to help?
Well, I would have been following Lucky. So yeah, I'm trying to take the car, but not. I'm still hiding from the guards and the horses and stuff. So I'm trying to gooch in. Try and whisk the cart away.
Okay, plain and simple. Yeah. So you're going in. You're hiding from the guards that come in. You are a goblin. You're hiding from the guards using your tattered cloak, and of course you're chewing your straw in your mouth as you're doing it, trying to be as stealthy as possible and blend into your surroundings. Notable trait for poor Muppet here. So if you'd like to roll me 4d6 with a +1 there.
Yes.
Oh, wow! It'd be a real shame if someone got a re-roll here. So let's just add this up and give some time here. We got a 4. We got a 6. We got a 5. We got a 6.
That's the full good roll.
So with a +1, we're talking. It's a +1, isn't it? Not -1. Cry there. Cry's ruining your chances here.
Yeah, go for it. +1, right? If you want. I'm not arguing with that. That's totally fine.
No, it is
+2, isn't it?
No, it's...
Hey, what is it? I'm in a moment.
No, sorry, it's a -1. You're right. No, because it's a
Set up
3.
zero.
Wow. Wow.
I'll set up
No,
a 0. It's fine.
No. So that's a 3, a 5, a 4, and a 5. So you do manage to pull this car off to the side. And yeah, the guards don't notice you. You do manage to pull this car off onto the side of the road. But it's slightly damaged. You may think maybe either you need to fix this up or get something else to make it suitable to carry parts. So you think, unfortunately, like the wheel's slightly broken, so maybe we might need to fix this just to make sure it's right. Looking at this is Rog, the Dodge Burton. So you see Moppet brings this car over. She struggles a little bit, but we pull it fully over to safety. But like I said, you do notice it is slightly damaged, and we will need to get that repaired to make it viable to help steal parts of the pub. So what's your plan here to fix the broken wheel?
First thing Roger's going to do is look directly at Mr. Not Supposed to Be Here and go, "You absolute moppet! You've broken the wheel, ain't you?" Right. So he's going to have a think and look around and go think, what could we use as a wheel? And he'll notice that there is a sign for wheeler dealers, which is in the shape of an old ship's wheel.
Yeah.
And that looks like the perfect thing to use.
Yeah, it does.
So Rog is gonna stand on his frog, get a bit more height, bounce on it. With his frog's a bouncy. Oh, he's gonna try and grab it.
Yep.
And if he grabs it, he's gonna do a pose at the guys watching, because he's that cool.
Yep.
And he's gonna try and pull it down.
Yeah. And you place the frog on the floor. It doesn't move yet. You take a step on it. You're a goblin. You're using your frog in a sack as a way to get up. As you get up, you don't half notice your stubble's a bit scratchy there, and you give it a little scratch as you step up on the frog.
Scratchiest.
And you're hoping to pull down this sign, which is the coolest thing, because that's going to help you fix the car. So let's get 4d6 off you there. Rog, let's see, 4d6.
Cool while I'm doing this as well, though, friend.
Yes.
As I pose at my fans. Is that 5d6 that cool?
Yeah, if you're doing it in a cool way, yeah, you are being the cool guy doing this. So let's have 5d6. Yeah, you want to add that.
Oh
no!
Watch the master.
And we'll just count this just in case, we'll just take our time counting this. Just, in case anyone wants to do a re-roll here. We'll give it a little bit of time. We got a 1. Oh, look, there's a re-roll! Oh, that game is so quick. I didn't even know. We got a 1, a 1, a 6, a 3, and a 5. All no multiplier. Let's get a re-roll on that 6, Borgat. Let's, it's a 3. That's a 3. So that's a 1, a 1, a 3, a 3, and a 5. Yeah, and you reach up, you grab this wheel, and you manage to pull it off. And as you pull it off, the frog decides it's moving. And you fall down. This wheel comes crashing down on you. It lands on your neck and instantly decapitates you. And your head rolls down the street.
I'm going to look at somebody, and the last words would just be, "I'll be back."
But as it decapitates you, this wheel bounces and rolls to where the party is. And they have the spare wheel for the car. So you do manage to help succeed still. Unfortunately, the head rolls down the street and bumps into the guards. And all the guards see this head, and they start heading back up the town to where you all are. So the next person is going to get a -2 on the next roll. But you succeed. Yeah, you've succeeded. You've managed. You now have everything that you need to put the tavern on. your next task is to gain access to the tavern. And this is where there is a difficulty here. So again, chat, we're looking for your involvement here. If someone in chat would like to do !D6, so we can find out what type of issue we're going to run into, I would appreciate it. First D6 I see will be the D6 we're going to go with. David said he's not doing it. Red Monk rolls a 1, which is on the tables of orcs and bugbears. So let's see what orc and bugbear issue is going to come into play. Can we get another D6? Somebody, an !D6, please.
I hope they're not coming with the cape.
Let's see. And we get Kadari rolling a 2.
Oh no.
So as you're all sat at this this wagon, a bugbear approaches you all, and he makes you a deal, and you all foolishly accept it.
Oh no.
What could go wrong?
What's the deal?
Unfortunately,
What's the deal with bugbears?
the bugbear made you a deal. And this deal will help you later on. He has agreed that he will look at causing you a bit of a distraction later when you're leaving. But part of the deal is he wants the head of the tavern keep. He's pissed off at the tavern keep. So, if you get him the head of the tavern keep, he might help you later on with the distraction.
Okay.
And if you fail to get the head of the tavern keep, when he sees you leaving, he's going to kill you. So he'll cause you an aggro if you don't. But you thought it was a great deal, because sure, the head of the tavern keep, yeah, that'd be dead easy to get. And you foolishly agree to this deal. So, you've now all got your disguises, and you've got a way to start taking the pub. Your next plan of action was to sneak into said pub. So you're hoping to gain access. It's getting late. Most people have left now. It's getting into 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So, what's the plan? We are going... I should say before this, as Roch died, the frog almost gets away, but fortunately round the corner was Michael Wizzo, and who manages to grab the frog and shoves him in a bag. And let's introduce Michael Wizzo. Olga, would you like to introduce Michael Wizzo?
Oh, hey guys, how's it going? I think it's very apparent what my expertise is. Clearly, you can see by looking at me. I have the cool toothpick.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool?
You
There's
have
nothing
very
else wrong
cool
with me. What are you on about?
You got Michael
The
Wizzo.
frog woman's got away this time.
Oh dear. So
But I got my eye on it.
So funny. Rel. What you're the first to make an action. You put on your disguise that you've got. How are you going to get into the pub? What's your plan here?
Right, so here's what's gonna happen. Each one of you has got a part in this. We are gonna go in the most stealthy way possible. We're gonna go in as a crowd. That's right. The best place to hide is in plain sight. So we're just gonna walk right through the front door. And you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take myself, because each one of you, like I said, has a part in this. You're gonna go on the left side, you're gonna go on the right side, and if you follow my direction, I'm gonna wave my drumstick in the air. Just point all around, and I'm gonna make a big scene, and we'll get in just fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you're a goblin. You're waving your drumstick in the air. You formed a little party that you're going in with. You're acting the celebrity at the front of this, rocking in. And you are, Rel does always want to be the leader. So yeah, he's leading this as the celebrity of the party that's going in, rocking out with the drumstick. So let's have 5d6, all with a -2 on, and let's see how far we get. We got a 4, a 2, a 2, a 6, and a 1. Any re-rolls? Any re-rolls? Any chat? Any re-rolls? Any re-rolls? Chat. Last chance to get a re-roll here, chat. Last chance to get a re-roll here, chat.
Reroll.
Oh, Redmond got in there with a re-roll. Look at that. That was so unexpected. Let's re-roll that 6. Oh, we got a 3. We got a 3. Which, with the -2, that's a 2, a 0, a 0, a 4, and a -1.
You think he's going to be alright?
Yeah. And, Rel, you say this to the other goblins, and you walk off, and you're so sure that this was going to work. You actually forgot to check if the other goblins were going to come with you. And you're walking down the street, waving your stick in the air, shouting out, completely unaware that there's no other goblins behind you. And the guards are watching you just walking up the street. They run at you. Another goblin! And they all dogpile onto you in the middle of the street. Axes and swords are flying everywhere. Blood just splatters everywhere. And in this tuffle and this ruffle and bustle of people, out pops the stick. It bounces down the road. And thus ends the life of Rel, the basement horde. But fortunately, the guards are somewhat distracted in this dog pile. There's a bit of a kerfuffle, and you may have given an advantage to the next person. And as this stick...
Where's the advantage coming from?
The 4.
Yeah, but it wasn't a 4 because it's re-rolled to.
Oh, apology. Yeah, so that was another one. So at least, you have no effect. You have no, yeah. Your head goes rolling down.
Runs in and just jumps onto the corpse.
It's just you're now part of the pavement. You're that dead. You've been you've been obliterated into the floor. No, there's no distraction. The guys all quickly re-emerge from this pile, and there's just nothing. There's no body or anything. There's just a big porridge of blood where Rel was originally. But the stick bounces again down the roll and rolls down, and out pops a little goblin hand down the street. And this is where Erp of the Basement Horde comes in. Let's introduce Erp of the Basement Horde. Oh my god, it's a burglar. Would you like to introduce Erp for us?
Oh my god.
Hi guys. I'm Erp, and I apologize. As a medical condition, I'm always drooling. Yeah.
And the drool pours out of Erp, and the blood running down the road mixes, and there's some sort of weird red goo that flows down the river that night. Meanwhile, we jump back to Dimp, the warrior, who's concerned for the state of the world these days. And Dimp, you've just seen Rel disappear in a pile of guards. But it doesn't knock you. You have an idea, though. You knew Dirt was... that Rel was silly, and that's why none of you followed him, because that could have made a difference if you did. But you have an idea yourself of how you're going to get into the tavern. What is that?
Well, I've got an expertise. I'm not blending in. So I'm going to go right past the guards, walk right up to that very old drunk man that's right at the front, and he looks like he might be up for some philosophy. And what I'm going to say to him is, don't you think the state of the world is just a little bit too much to handle sometimes. And if only we had some drink, but I'm too small and they'll never let me in. So, yeah, I'm gonna walk past the guards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go up to the man. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the state of the world, and he's gonna be my friend. And then we're gonna walk right in, and I don't fit in because that's why I have to get this man. I'm gonna hide behind him, and when I get in, I'm gonna be in, and we're all gonna sneak in behind him.
Yeah. So you're a goblin. You're not going to be blended in. You're just going to be walking up brazenly. You feel like a bit of courage is needed here to get past the guards, so you do take a little vial of the dragon blood in your eye for a bit of extra bonus courage, because you think you're going to need it on this one.
Yeah.
And you're hoping to use the fact that you're concerned for the state of the world as a way to persuade this guy. Yeah. So let's get 4d6 from you. 4d6, I think that's fair.
Alright, let's do it. Ooh.
Wow, a 5, a 5, a 4, and a 3. And I've not seen any reroll from chat.
That's because they're not going to reroll, because they want to see the 2 successes. That's exactly why we get the.
Oh no, the stream has frozen it. Oh, look, there's a reroll in there from Ange. Thank you, Ange.
We have 13
nice to see you
minutes.
getting involved in it. Ange, so yeah, can we reroll one of those 5s, please? Just in the nick of time. That was so close. I was about to call it then. It was so close. And that's a 1. That's a 1 that you get. So that's a 1, a 4, a 4. Sorry, a 1, a 5, a 4, and a 3. And you blazingly walk past this. You walk up to the guards, and one of the guards just turns to you as you're walking up. Why are there so many goblins? And he just kicks you so hard, and you go flying up into the sky, and you land in a nearby bush. That was one hell of a kick. You're winded from this kick. But it's not killed you yet. I think you might. You'll live for a little bit longer. Unfortunately, though, it was not very useless. But as you come to and you realise, the guard has kicked you into the bush right next to the tavern door. So you are pretty much in this tavern at this point. You're past the guards at least. And you're right next to the tavern door. You might be able to sneak in. You're on the way. So yeah, that's not too bad. So then we turn to Moppet. Moppet, you see this, and you see poor Dimp limping out of the bush and almost slipping into the tavern. What's Dimp's? What's Moppet's plan here? No, Ange, you didn't help, Ange. You didn't help. He had 2 successes. You made him have 1. That's not helping. Let's just get that right. Sorry, Bob.
Help backwards.
Depends on
Moppet.
who she's trying to help.
Yeah.
Moppet will just carry on as he's been doing, just trying to figure out what's going on and where he's supposed to be. Using his cloak to hide and try and
You're just sneaking straight in. Fair enough. Yep. So Moppet, who's a goblin, is aiming to just sneak straight into the tavern, and he's chewing his straw as always to try and blend in there. So let's get 3d6 off you with no plus or minus. 3d6. Ooh dear. That's a 1, a 3, and a 4. And unfortunately, you two attempt to just sneak past. And as Ange rolls a goblin power then, so that we'll take that. Let's re-roll that 4. Let's re-roll that 4. That got in just before I said what had happened.
I think
and that's
that
a 3.
should be allowed to do this. They have so many points anyway.
They're getting rid of him now. Yeah, that's a 1, a 3, and a 3. And
no.
so you're trying to sneak past. Unfortunately, one of the guards spots you. There's another goblin! And this same guard runs up to you again and kicks you. You fly, but unfortunately, he's not kicking you towards the tavern this time. You're going further away. And unfortunately for Moppet, this kick was a lot harder, and you don't know whether it was when the kick hit you or some point after or when you hit the ground, but poor Moppet passed away at some point during that. And the dead body of Moppet is laying there as the tattered coat rolls with the wind that's blowing down the street. And the guards are shouting, "We're being invaded!" And more guards start flooding out of the houses and the keeps, and the street is now littered with guards.
It's alright though, because Moppet wasn't supposed to be here anyway.
But yeah, Moppet wasn't supposed to be here. And picking up the cloak as it blows down the street, another goblin hand pops out of nowhere, and Wink Quickfinger brings himself into the company. There's Wink Quickfinger. I hope that's a bag next to him.
Yes.
That's the cloak, obviously.
Of course. Yes.
He picks the cloak, and it's turned into some sort of like little hobo bag. So he's got all his magical items in.
Yeah.
You see, he carries a stick, which is obviously his wand. It's magical. He's like magical. That's the whole thing. But yeah, he carries the cloak as a bag and his wand in the other hand, and just chuttles back up to try and help.
Yeah. And as he's doing this, Michael Withow, what's Withow's plan for trying to get into the pub
I think
here?
you're trying to insult my accent, and I do not appreciate that.
Sorry.
I wear my human clothing, so I just look like a cool human, which is hard to do because humans aren't really cool. So, I'm going to walk in through the door because I'm a human. I don't have to worry. I'm going to walk up to the bar. I don't even care because they're just going to see a human. Then walk up to the bar and say to the bartender, "Mr. Bartender, guess what?" And then I'm going to stab him in the neck.
Okay. So,
With a toothpick.
Michael Wizzo, the goblin, walks casually up the street with his toothpick in his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Acting like the cool guy.
I am the cool guy.
And as he walks with a swagger, he's swinging his big frog in a sack, acting all casual-like.
My sack is swaying side to side.
So let's get 4d6 with a -2.
Oh, I forgot there was a -2. But that's okay.
So that's a 3, a 3, a 4, and a 1.
I don't need any help. Please don't give me help.
A 3,
I'm
a
gonna
3,
wink at the
a 4, and a 1. And
a wink at the chat.
as Michael Withow walks up the path, he's swaggering, and one of the guards looks at you. That was pretending to be a human! Look at him!
What I'm talking about, I am a human.
And a mace comes swinging at you, hits you in the chest, and you are thrown across the street. So you do take a damage.
Oof.
And unfortunately, as you're thrown in, the guards are now moving in on the location of where the rest of the goblins are, so there is going to be a -1 for the next goblin, as the guards are just scattering around the area now, trying to search for all of these goblins. Which brings us to Erp. Erp. I felt that coming. Erp. What is your plan here? Thank you. You're seeing your goblin friends being kicked around the streets quite badly at the moment, and you've not yet to get in the tavern to steal said tavern.
You know what? I saw this window over here. The
Yep.
window is open.
Yes, of course,
I'm
yeah.
gonna climb in through there. Kind of go on the sides here. It looks like it's a back window. So, hopefully, I can pick my way up with this drumstick.
Yep.
I'm just gonna climb in.
Yeah. And yeah, Erp, the goblin, is trying to climb in using his stick, his drummer stick. Unfortunately, he is drooling all over the place, which is somewhat helpful because it gives a bit of friction to the walls and everything as he's going up. It gives him some sort of lube to help get up the wall. I don't know how to go with that. But yeah, it helps. It helps the goblin. It's sticky. Yeah.
It weakens the wall.
Yeah, the wall's eroding. It's acid. So let's get 3d6 there with a -1 on each. Let's see how successful Erp is at trying to climb in through the window. So that's 2, a 1, and a 4. And unfortunately, Erp, you climb up, you get to the window ledge, and you push open the window with the stick. And as you put your head through the window to climb in, this drool just pours out your mouth, and you just slip ever so slightly. And as you drop down, you bang the window frame, and the window comes shutting down as a guillotine on your poor neck. And the window smashes, though, and there's now a nice open window there, if anyone would like to try that. So there's some sort of advantage there that you give to people. Unfortunately, though, Erp, you do die. It does kill Erp instantaneously. It's horrific. But as the window came down, it kind of caught your stick and sent it flying backwards. But who to catch it? But Larry of the Basement Horde. And let's have a look at your final goblin that you've submitted, which is Larry. Would you like to introduce Larry?
Hi guys, I'm Larry. I found the stick. I'm hoping this might be fun, but it's probably gonna be boring.
I love Larry.
They're really off the chain.
I really love Larry. And yeah, as this poor goblin is being guillotined, we go back to Dimp, who is at the door of the tavern. He's just got out of the bush, and he looks round expecting to see his goblin friends, like, making good progress and almost on him. And he can't help but notice all the other goblins are even further away than when they started. Dimp, what's your plan here? Are you going to try and help the others get into this tavern?
I am going to go into the tavern and I'm going to find that bloody innkeeper, and I'm going to do 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask him to start taking the tavern outside.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't do that, I'm going to chop his bloody head off.
Okay.
But it's a tough job. You know, somebody's got to do it. But I'm going to go for the barkeep. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him.
Yep.
That thing. I think I've jumped ahead a bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to... What bit are we doing? Are we on stage 1?
You're trying to get into the tavern.
Can we get into the tavern?
You're trying to get into the tavern.
On stage 2. We're on stage 2, yeah. So I'm going to walk right. I'm just going to jump out the bush, jump in there, walk into the tavern, tell him to start putting everything on the cart, or I'm going to chop his bloody head off. And I'm going to chop his head off anyway.
Yep. No, that's absolutely fine. So you're a goblin.
Just before I go in,
Of course, yeah.
The little
Courage.
vial in the,
Yeah. You're a goblin. You've just used a bit of dragon's blood. You're not blending in because you're just brazenly walking into the tavern, shouting out to the tavern keep. You're looking to have a fight with him and win this battle in conversations and fear him. But at the same time, you are quite concerned about the state of the world and the effect that this will have on the tavern industry.
Exactly. It's just
You can't help but do it without thinking about this sort of thing.
It's just life.
It is.
Philosophical conundrum for a goblin.
I know you got to do what you got to do, but you got to worry about the markets for taverns here. So let's have a 5d6 with a +1 on each of them, please. So that's a 6, a 5, a 6, a 3, and a 3. And quite well enough, you go in, and as you do this, you do notice all the other goblins are crawling through the window that was broken by Earp. I mean, they're all using his dead body as a step ladder to get down, but the rest of your team are now coming into the tavern. They've all managed to make it in. And there's only the tavern keep in the bar, and he puts his hands up. Goblins! Oh, take what you want. I don't want any trouble here.
Let me take its head.
And we move on to stage 3 of taking the tavern. And so we are going to go straight with Wink. So Wink, we've managed to get into the tavern now. You're all in. There's no guards seem to be pouring through the doors or anything. You've all managed to sneak in, thanks to the open window. What are we doing now to take the tavern? What's Wink's plan here?
Going to head straight for the barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his little bag. He's going to use his stick.
Mm-hmm.
Bag. And he's going to just abracadabra at whatever's holding the barrels.
Mm-hmm.
So he's able to pick them up. He's going to try and actually get one in his bag. Take the cart.
Yep. Okay. And so Wink the goblin pulls out his stick that could be magic from his bugbear's tattered cloak, and he is aiming to generate to levitate some of these boxes. Unfortunately, there is a -2 on this, so let's see how your 3d6 rolls. Let's see. 3d6. And Groovy is asked for a reroll on this, so let's just quickly do this now. Let's reroll that 6, shall we? And that's a 1. So that'll be a 1, a -1, and a 0. And Wink pulls out his stick.
He
pulls out his magic stick that he's got, and he wafts it in the air. And this stick that might not have been magic, it turns out it was magic. Unfortunately, what Wink didn't know is that this was a wand of fireball. And almost instantaneously, as he wafts it in the air, there is a large explosion in the corner of the tavern where Wink was stood. And fire erupts. And there's a flash. Everyone's blinded for a brief second. So when they turn back, in amongst the area of fire, all they see is poor Wink's feet on fire. And there is nothing left of the upper half of Wink. And Wink is dead.
Wink has winked out of existence.
Get your violin out.
But the explosion, the bat blast, did throw the bugbear's tattered cloak out the window. And coming through the window, looking at this fire, holding this cloak, is Swish of the Two-Fingered Salute. And let's have a look at Swish of the Two-Fingered Salute. Oh, Jesus. It's Swish.
My God.
The prettiest goblin so far. But my God, definitely the goblin that should not be there. But, yeah. It's the claw fingers. It's actually the claw fingers.
Hey, Borg, with the amount of fingers you have, how many fingers does this goblin have?
This goblin has 2 fingers. I want to count.
I'm Switch.
And as requested for poor Wink there, the little violin there for the amazing death that poor Wink just went through there. Fireball, it gets everyone.
I still don't think it's a goblin.
Swish, the Two-Fingered Salute, you introducing yourself quickly?
It's Swish, Two-Fingered Salute. On her way in, picking up the cloak, she would have had some flowers, smushed it all over, trying to get some colour on there, and worn it as the clothes.
Yep. Wow. Having seen this explosion, Michael Without,
Well,
what's your plan here to steal the tavern that's now slightly on fire in one corner?
okay, this is a positive guy. The tavern is on fire, so it's going to burn into ashes. And then we can just take the ashes, and that's the tavern. So we should help to burn it down faster.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab some of the, because everyone knows that booze burns. So I'm just going to start throwing bottles from behind the bar into the fire.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, your plan is to burn down the tavern, which will, definitely make it easier to take it when it's all ashes. Yeah, let's, okay, so you're a goblin.
I'm eating biscuits.
I mean, you're causing fire, which is really cool for goblins. Burning down buildings.
Actually, I think you'll find that fire is not cool, it's hot.
Yes, but it
is really cool.
It's the hottest thing amongst the cool people. It's cool. So you're acting very cool here, and yeah, you as you do it, you're doing it in such a cool way. As you throw the fire, you flick your toothpick in your mouth, like bad boy style. As you turn your back.
Actually, a match.
Yeah, it's a match, and it helps light. Yeah. So let's get 3d6 here to see. Ooh, dear. And yeah. That's a 2, a 1, and a 6. And as Michael Without picks up, and there's a goblin power there for some old pirates. Let's get a reroll on that 6 as well.
No,
get it in there. No, you gotta reroll that 6.
Why is it always a 3?
Again, I shouldn't be allowed.
That's 2, 1, and a 3. I'm not gonna argue. I like it. And Michael Without picks up this barrel. And as he picks up this barrel, it breaks in his hands, and alcohol pours on him. And it pours, and he has the lit match ready, and he just ignites instantly in a blaze of glory.
I didn't see that coming.
Michael Without turns to ashes, and unfortunately, Michael Without is dead. As he does this and he's picked up, the frog jumps away from him, but manages to get caught by the next goblin who enters through the window, Captain Scratch and Sniff. Let's introduce Captain Scratch and Sniff. Do you want to introduce Captain?
Crew. I swing in and I catch my frog and I say, Gaza, good to see you again, pal. What's going on here? Whoa, we burning down a bar, are we?
And yeah, but unfortunately, as Michael, another section of the pub has now set on fire, which is a bit of an issue because now there's a fire at both entrance and exit of said pub. So that's going to cause a little bit of a -1 issue for the next Goblin, which happens to be back to Larry of the Basement Horde. Larry, the pub is almost fully ablazing at this point.
This goes so wrong.
Larry, you're still adamant that we're going to steal this pub. What is your plan here? Where would you like to go with this?
Well, seeing as how all my brothers are dead, and this pub is on fire, I guess I can go in and take the tavern. What even is a tavern? But it looks like there's alcohol in the tavern. So, if I take a drink and take it out, isn't that the tavern? I guess.
Yeah. That sounds like Goblin logic.
I'm gonna go in and, I guess, take my stick and poke at whatever alcohol I can find, and while everyone is just getting their stuff, and maybe I'll say, hey, I'm taking some beer here, just to let everyone know it's me.
Yeah.
And
God, yeah. Yeah. And so Larry the Goblin, who's really bored at this whole situation, even though like a pub on fire, if that doesn't get you excited, God knows what will. He goes in with his drumstick from the drummer of the Nine in Black, using it to knock off some of the higher bottles of alcohol, while still trying to live up to that dream of being a celebrity somehow in this burning tavern. So let's have 4d6 with a -1 rolled. Let's see where that gets us. So that will be a 1, a 5, a 2, and a 4. And as Larry goes up and he starts knocking over these bottles, they smash, and alcohol goes flying everywhere. Some of it even splashes on Larry, and just as he knocks off the 5th or 6th bottle, the fire roars across the bottle area, and up in smoke goes Larry. There are screams.
That drumstick is cursed.
There is bored screams. It's like, oh no, I'm dying. Oh, fire! As poor Larry is instantly ignited in a blaze of glory and dies. But the pub is now almost fully on fire, which, going down the plan of taking the ashes, is really good. We're almost there. So there is you have gained the first success on taking the pub. Yeah, that's...
Wow.
Yeah, the pub is definitely on fire at this point. There is no way this is going to stop.
We got this in the bag, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, but
no goblins.
Which is really good because you've encouraged everyone's like, oh, it's on fire. This is going to go great, and you've inspired the whole party somehow. So there's a +1. Unfortunately, that was your last goblin, and
Be a shame.
Unfortunately, the whole gang of the Basement Horde are now gone from existence.
Hopefully they'll be remembered.
Thus we turn...
The Basement Horde.
Yeah, definitely. Basement Horde is gone. Thus we turn to Dimp, the warrior. Dimp. The pub is almost fully ablaze.
Going very well, is it? But still, it does show that as goblin kind continues to decimate the lands of the humans, that at least the humans will be pushed back, and the goblins will have a home finally. I think the fire is a very good idea. And in order to take the tavern, I'm going to continue with the conflagration, and I'm going to make sure that the fire is going to be continuing. I'm going to stand here in the middle of the burning room. I'm going to jump up onto the table, and I'm going to pull down the chandelier with all the flames on it and drop it on the table, and that will help to continue the fire. And I don't see what's wrong with that problem. There's nobody to fight, unfortunately, so I can't do that. But at least we can take this. And that will give us an existence for goblins everywhere.
Yeah. And so Dimp, the warrior, drops another vial of the dragon blood into his eye for this daring feat. Yeah. And he's not blending in at all because he screams as he does this. And he grabs onto the chandelier and he fights it off the roof, yanking at it, pulling at it. And as he does so, he does contemplate the state of the world and how all fire is really bad for the world and the pollution is not good. So let's get 5d6 with a +1 there.
Oh dear, look at that.
That's a 3, a 7, a 7, a 4, and a 2.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And there's a goblin power. Thank you, some old pirate. That was there before I even noticed. So let's get one of those.
If I do 1, can I cancel it out?
No. Let's get a reroll on one of those 6s. Cry. Reroll.
Why is it a 3?
That'll be
always a 3.
A 3, a 4, a 7, a 4, and a 2. So that's what it turns into.
+1.
So your 7 it gives you 2 successes. So you're up to 3 successes now. Your 3 and a 4 cancel each other out, and a 4 gives you a +1 for the next one. Unfortunately, though, as Dimp grabs onto the chandelier and he pulls it and it snaps, he didn't quite think this through, and the chandelier comes crashing down. Dimp's still underneath it, and it kebabs him into the tavern's floor, and thus ends the life of poor Dimp.
I've heard that one before, Andy.
What? Kebabs?
Kebabs.
Yeah. And the dragon's blood vial goes flying across the room once again. And through the window that's on fire is another goblin, Carl Elfiers, who sticks his head through and manages to catch the now vial. There's Carl Elfiers. You want to quickly introduce Carl?
My mother was probably an elf. At least that's what my dad says. I can almost pass for an elf. I'm quite tall, but my ears, you see, they're all pointy, just like elves.
Yeah.
And it's really good because what I can do is I can see who's walking about in the town, and I can get away with being an elf child. So I walk up to one of the elves that's walking past the fire, and I say, "Oh, you got to help me. Please, you've got to help me. I'm a little elf child, and all of my family are in. You have to put the fire out so that I can get my family back. And and maybe we can and yeah, that's about all I've got at this point, really.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think this
Carl.
one through very much.
And yeah, so Carl now comes in with the dragon's blood. The chandelier does help set fire to the building quite severely now, and the roof starts crumbling down. The tavern is almost now completely immersed into fire, but it's not quite there yet, unfortunately. Might need a little bit more help. thinking of an idea of how to help is Swish, the two-fingered salute. Swish.
Yeah.
Not a goblin.
What is your plan here? This tavern's on its last legs. What are you going to do to help bring the last of it down?
Well, as she's going around, Swish will be taking anything to add colour to her cloak.
Yep.
But also she's going to add to the fire. So anything she grabs, see what, like, if it makes different colours in the fire as well. Different foods makes different colours. Always a chance. And just literally just lobbing it wherever.
Yep.
Clothes, lob a jug somewhere, and carry on.
Yeah. So Swish, the goblin, dancing around, adding bits to her cloak as she goes around, wearing her bugbear's tattered cloak, which is helpful to keep the fire off her. And I think that's fair enough. Let's get 3d6 with a +1 on each. Wow. That's a 3, a 6, and a 7. Regardless of the roll, this is going to be a success here. And as you go around, you collect the last few items. You get a few items of the pub here. And you manage to get out the pub with a few trinkets and everything. And the pub collapses in around you as you and the rest of the goblins manage to get out of that. So that's 3 successes, so that's way more than what you needed. Unfortunately, by stealing a few things, the barkeep did notice as he ran out of the burning building, and he's now shouting, "Thieves, goblins in the pub!"
Did he get out of the building, or did his head get cut off as the building collapsed? Wink, wink.
No, he managed to get out of the building. The tavern keep, unfortunately, I'm not giving you that one. And he runs out the front door of this burning tavern. Goblins in the tavern, and they're burning down, and they're stealing everything. And so the guards are now heading over to the burning tavern. But you have now completed stage 3 of task 2. You now take the tavern. The tavern falls down to burn ash, and you all manage to grab bits of burning ash and scoop it into little bags that you've all got. And as far as you're concerned, as you've all agreed, you have now all got bits of the tavern.
Except the basement horde.
We throw one of the corpses on the wagon as well.
The horde is part of the burned tavern.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that you've got bits of the tavern, bits of it broken up. You've now got to get assistance to pull the tavern as we enter the final stage. What we will do, unfortunately, as much as I think we're really close to the end, I think that's a good place to end this one. We will have to come back and complete this.
Out of order. I didn't get a third yard.
Which will be which is such a shame. We will have to come back and finish this because as much as what have we got? Cry, you're on your 4th.
Could I make a suggestion?
Go on.
Could we do some really, really quick rolls?
Big rolls.
Really rapid fire.
Okay.
Really quick rolls. Just to see what's
wasn't
gonna
there a
happen.
thing? Wasn't there a thing wherein if we didn't give the bartender's head to the bugbear, he was going to kill us, and we didn't give the bartender's head to the bugbear?
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Just there.
So yes, okay. Let's try and end this because so you all come out of the tavern. The keeper runs off.
Rapid fire.
The bugbear is stood amongst the guards, all staring at you. And he's goblins, and this is your last lives. We're going to make a big roll here for all of you in turn of whether or not you manage to get out. The plan has failed. The tavern's burnt down. You're not going to be able to get most of this back. So it's whether or not you manage to get out of this fight alive, which is what we're looking at. So we're going to start with Well, I'll tell you what, we'll start with Borgat then. How is Captain Scratch and Sniff
Well-
getting out of this situation?
Captain Scratch and Sniff, he has his crew moored off the shore, and he
Yep.
knows the broken arrow command, and he squeezes Gaza the frog, who makes a loud croak. And then a few seconds later, cannonballs start raining down on the town
Yep,
as the
Okay.
crew starts opening fire.
that's fair enough. You've got a -1 from the previous roll. And for this, I'm just going to say a straight 5d6. Let's see if you manage to succeed. So you roll a 5, a 1, a 1, a 4, and a 1. And unfortunately,
I'm gonna
As
take some
Cap-
of them with me.
as Caffin summons this and cannon fire is sounded in the distance, the first cannonball that comes flying in actually hits the Captain. And he is taken out by his own crew, and he is obliterated by his own cannon fire. Fortunately, though, there is cover fire, so there is now a +1 for the next person who is going to attempt to escape, which is Funny Fencer, but Funny Fencer, you're not a goblin at this point. So you're going to take on the bugbear role, okay? So this bugbear is now stood amongst all these humans. The cannon fires are ringing, and the bugbear's like, I'm going to get out of it. How does the bugbear get out of this situation?
Why would the bugbear even get out of the situation? He's on a path
What's
of
he gonna do?
revenge. He
Yeah.
needs to kill these goblins.
Yeah, okay,
So
go
he's
for it.
gonna run
Let's.
in.
Yeah.
He's gonna
You're
run
running
in
in?
and try
Which-
and take some of these goblins out.
Which goblin are you going for? Are you going to go for Carl or are you going to go for Swish?
Oh, I gotta go for Carl.
You're going to
Gotta
go
go
for
for
Carl.
Carl.
You're going directly for Carl. You see Carl
His
there.
ears are bothering me.
They are, aren't they? You've got a +1 to all of these rolls, so if you get 2 successes, you're going to kill Carl. So yeah, let's roll 5d6. Let's see what you get. That's a 2, a 5, a 3, a 7, and a 5. Yeah, and Carl, you're stood there, and a bugbear comes rushing at you. Claws are scraping left, right, and
You guys are trying.
Croy wants a reroll. I mean, there's so many rerolls here. Let's reroll the 6. Go on, let's be fair. Let's reroll that 6. It's a 6, so it doesn't change whatsoever. We'll take cries on that one.
It's meant to be.
And unfortunately, Carl, you are shredded by this bugbear that launches on you. And thus ends the life of Carl, which means, Cry, you're down to your last goblin for this last bit here, which very quickly is Jen Eric the Bland, which is there.
That's right. It's generic. I'm just.
Oh, God,
I'm just a
generic.
goblin. I'm Jen.
He's
I'm just a goblin, and I like fighting, but I do it really boringly. I'm like Neo in the Matrix when he's fighting. He just does this with his hand, and it just fends off everything because he's just really, really good.
And Jen,
And I'm just-
how are you getting out of this situation? You're here in this middle of this fight. Bugbear's just devoured Carl. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna walk, just lazily and quietly, just with no really particular any energy about it at all. I'm just gonna walk right out of it back to camp because I don't really see the problem.
180 and leave.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, you are going to get a plus. No, you're going to get -1 to this, thanks to the bugbear roll. So that's going to be a 1, a 2, a 2, a 3, and a 0. And unfortunately, Eric the Bland, he just walks, and a cannonball comes firing over the hill, and just takes out the chest area, and there's just this head and the legs, and the head just drops down to the legs. And unfortunately, Eric the Bland did not leave this area of chaos and is now dead. thus, and that will give a -1 to the final goblin to try and escape this chaotic town of destruction, which is Swish of the two-fingered salute. And I will say there is a re-roll here thanks to Borgat's re-roll. So whatever you're talking, doesn't matter. It carries over. So Swish, how are you getting out of this battle?
Roll
the mothership.
Swish is literally gonna try and hide in plain sight. Like she doesn't look like any of the goblin. She's so colourful. She's so joyful.
Yeah.
She's like obviously like not evil. Clearly.
Yeah.
She's literally just gonna try and hide in plain sight and like slide away out the way. Just like
yeah, that's fair. Okay, so yeah, let's have your 5d6 to see if you manage to survive. All with a all with a -1. Not that really would have had
And you
an
have to
effect.
re-roll one of the 3s.
Yeah, can you please re-roll one of the 3s? You never know, it could help. It's not going to help. So that's a 2, a 0, a 0, a 4, and a 0. And unfortunately, you jump into a bush hoping to be hidden from this. Unfortunately, the bugbear sees you, and it finishes, and it jumps into this bush with you, and you are just mauled to death. And
how much of the town is destroyed by the cannon fire, though?
Half the town is destroyed. It is gone. Unfortunately, the town though is disastrous. I mean, it's littered with dead goblins left, right, and centre. It's not a nice place to be.
I have a very important question, Andy. Did the frog make it out okay?
Roll me a d6.
Oh.
Ooh.
A 6!
Yes! The frog manages to hop. The frog manages to hop out through the town, and Kadari does a re-roll. Let's have a re-roll. No, that's not a re-roll. Yeah, the frog just about makes it out and doesn't manage to die, but does get caught by another goblin, so is now encaptured once again. Is yet to be a free frog. And unfortunately, we'll end it on that note. The whole party is absolutely wiped out. The pub is destroyed. You didn't manage to empower the goblins and give them a way to beat the humans by bringing the tavern back.
We did destroy the town.
You did destroy their tavern, so this town is weakened for a future adventure.
Cannonball fire raging through it, cannonballs raining down from the goblin armada. Brilliant.
But next time you come, there will be dozens of goblin heads on the fence of the gates to mark a warning to them. It's such a disastrous ending there. I mean, we got to see all you goblins, which was really nice this time. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching and sticking around. Thank you if you stayed for that last bit, because wow, that very quickly turned downhill. Yeah, if you'd like the look of this again, this was Goblin Quest, written by Grant Howitt. Thank you very much, Grant, for dropping in on us there earlier on. If you guys want to go and play this, honestly, it's a really super simple system and is ensued chaos 100%. It's brilliant. We will definitely be playing more of this on the channel in the future, sort of thing, so we'll let you know. If you want to find out when, drop in the Discord. If you want to get involved on those episodes, get in the Discord by all means. We hope you've enjoyed that tonight, because that was very chaotic. Thank you to Funny for volunteering yourself to join us. I hope you've enjoyed it with us tonight. Thank you very much.
It was a blast.
Thank you to Meow Nerva, as always, for joining in. Thank you to Borgat for joining us, and thank you, as always, to that weird hand, still creepy. Thank you to Cry for joining us, as always, and thank you to you, chat, for joining us. It's such nice that most of you stuck around. That was really I'm glad you enjoyed it. yeah, thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed it. Stick around. Once we've gone, we'll probably be raiding someone as always, and we hope you have a lovely weekend, and hope maybe your adventures go a lot more productive than our goblins of tonight. Who knows? Thank you very much, guys, and we will see you next time. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Infinite monkey tales, infinite monkey